to have this pizza without my drink.
Without my drink. I need wings. I went to Chipotle.
I was talking about it's a SpongeBob reference.
Oh.
You go over your head.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I have to pull it up. It's a classic. I think it's in the Krusty Krab pizza episode.
That's
Which is like one of the
few
first.
I haven't seen. I feel.
Oh.
Goodness. I thought that might have been nasty bad.
Here it is.
Oh,
No.
thanks. I've been dying for one of these. Where's my drink?
What drink?
My drink?
My diet Dr. Kelp.
Don't tell me you forgot my drink!
But you didn't order any.
How am I supposed to eat this pizza without my drink? Didn't you ever once think of the customer? You...
Good stuff.
That's copyrighted, brother.
Yeah.
I'm just
We
messing.
just got flagged.
So,
Firing this up.
yeah, let's do it. We're live. Let me move this to the side a little bit. While jacked up. Right resolution.
Oh, did he record it in shitty resolution last
No. Just making sure it'll actually record the time frame and not just 10 minutes or so.
time?
All right, no talking for like 2 seconds. Perfect. I just want to make sure there's no like static or in my lines or shit like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back. The boys, All or Nothing show. And we're starting the day off with a good old review. Today we're rocking Ray's because it's the next flavor that I hadn't tried yet from there. I don't know. Have y'all tried this one?
I don't think I have actually.
No.
Tried most of the
But
others.
the Baja Blast, I was telling you, the Baja Blast was so good from 2 episodes ago that I like have high expectations for this. Because sour gummy or sour flavors are kind of hit or miss. Like sometimes they're just like weird and funky, but other times they can be somewhat enjoyable. Like I like the what is it called? Sour Heads of Bang.
Yeah, Bang's good.
That was pretty good. That used to be like my favorite, but sour gummy, I think some pre-workout I've tried in the past. I don't know if it was Redcon or something else. That just tastes weird as shit. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like Sourhead Bang is like my safe go-to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be disappointed, and it's not gonna be like the best drink I've had, but it's like, oh, I'm gonna enjoy it though.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what
just
y'all
like every sip of kind of getting that little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the
Same thing
mic.
with walk
That nice
the
pump.
line.
Yeah. All right, let's break
boys,
these.
let's do it.
Ooh.
We're all in sync today.
We're getting better. It's like when women are around each other and they have their cycle
We're
match
locked
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're dialing it in, dude.
Yeah,
good.
y'all with your like mouth noise. I hope none of the mic caught that.
I hope they did.
Don't dislike.
I really like this.
It is good. I'm trying to think of what it reminds.
Yeah, I'm
me
trying to figure out how I'm gonna describe it.
of. It does kind of remind me of like the Frawley Bright Crawlers rather than like a Sour Patch Kid.
So it's not very sour. It's like a little sour. Like it kind of lingers. Like if you kind of just like had, like you said, like a sour kind of gummy in. Well, yeah, it's more like a sour. Well, it says sour gummy worm, so it's not like a Sour Patch Kid or something that's gonna hit you hard, but it kind of like lingers, and I feel like it has a sweeter taste than I was expecting.
Much sweeter, yes. I like it because it's when I'm thinking of like I don't know why I'm comparing it to Bang, but like Griffin said, it's like it's the constant, you know. It's like what you compare everything to, but it's not as syrupy to me. It's like more refreshing. It's more like Sprite to me.
Yeah,
I'm getting
it's
a
got
Sprite
a Sprite
vibe.
carbonation. Yeah.
And then
Sprite aftertaste.
It's got a real
definitely.
sweet
yeah,
aftertaste.
very sweet.
It's like if I put 1/3 Sour Head Bang and filled the rest with Sprite.
Dude,
it's kinda
that's
what
it.
I feel
Yeah,
like.
That is
Yeah.
it. Damn,
That's what
I do enjoy it though.
Check the ingredients. That's what they did.
It's like a Cosmo for energy drinks.
Yeah.
Damn, another good one. But
All right.
Ray's hasn't been disappointing.
No, Ray's is pretty good. I almost want to try more of them.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely get
I want
more.
to give these the Ray's with the. I'm going probably with a 6 carbonation,
Okay.
and then I'd say like flavor is probably like a. It's like a 7.3. It's not quite on like my great level, which would be like an 8 plus, but I enjoy it. I wouldn't mind drinking this.
Respectable.
And what is the last? Oh, the aftertaste. Aftertaste is good. Like it doesn't like leave me like overly thirsty, and then it's like it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Kind of like after I put it down and finish one sip, I want another. So I'd probably give it overall probably like a 7.3.
Okay. Good.
Like a good overall
I'll probably
score.
probably say 7.8 or so. I would say carbonation. It's
mild.
not. I would say it's almost like the bubbles are smaller, but they're more frequent. So I would say probably a 7 or so for carbonation. I like the amount that it has. Initial flavor, pretty good. I don't want to say like nothing to write home about, but it's not like over the top sort of thing. Like I would consider the apple bang like that's a very just ooh as soon as it touches your mouth sort of thing. So this is very good. Kind of like you wouldn't get sick of it, and you also like wouldn't think, wow, this is the best I've ever had. So I'd probably say like 8 or so for flavor, and then aftertaste I would say probably a 7 or so. Again, it's a nice kind of Sprite finish, but like it tapers out pretty quick, if that makes sense.
It does. Fellas, I'm going to give you my overall score. Yours was a what?
7.8.
7.8. Mine's an 8.1.
Oh.
Going high. I really enjoy this one. I enjoyed the Baja one. I don't know if I'm just falling in love with this brand.
I wonder
or
what
whatever.
we rated the Baja, because I feel like
I think
more
it was a
enjoyable than this, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
So I don't
Every
want to
week.
look back. Yeah,
You
I
know
don't
what?
want to
I'm
look
gonna throw
back. And then
I'll throw it up in this.
Oh
when
god,
when the
yeah,
numbers
because I'm
come up.
concerned. I rated this higher or around the same.
Well, you haven't. You haven't.
Jocko did a number on you.
Yeah, Jocko really set the baseline of what a 0 looks like.
Ruin the taste buds. But yeah, no, I'll throw the numbers up and compare it. But 8.1 carbonation's for me personally perfect. Reminds me definitely of a Sprite. Citrus, it has that citrus hint to it, to where it's like gives you the pucker. But it is light and I don't know if refreshing and crisp. It's not like syrupy to me or like very sweetish, like overly sweet. But it is a nice finish for me personally. 8.1, boom.
I almost think about, when you drink, let's say, a Dr. Pepper or Coke, but then if you drink it flat, you're reminded of how just disgustingly sweet it is. So I almost feel like this is good enough to where I would drink it flat because it wouldn't be like overly sweet to me too, if that makes sense too. So
Very good one.
we get very esoteric with these.
But they've got
You have to. You
small
have to.
bubbles, but less frequent.
Yeah, I like that. How many bubbles?
Yeah.
Give a range.
All right. So did you train today with him?
Did, yes. So
Okay.
after we finished, I didn't have enough time to go home, so I just did a few deliveries.
Nice.
So,
Grinding.
You did a few?
yeah, pretty
I feel
much
like you have a better system than Maddie does, because like it takes her probably an hour to do like one.
the second one took me a long time because he just like I would something would not be there, and then you
have to
scanned
wait
like
for
the
them
next
to-
recommended
yeah.
thing, and then he'd be like, "No, put that back, grab this one," and so then it's just like, okay, come
Yeah.
on.
And you're just having to wait for them to reply back to you?
I do a lap usually, and like I try to also get other things too that might be on the farther side of the store or something, just to kind of give it more time. Because, for example, if you know those refrigerated protein bar things, there wasn't the flavor that he wanted, so then I got a different flavor, and then he wanted that to be exchanged for something else, but I said they don't have enough, and then he's like, okay, we'll get the one that you had, but then a little bit of the other one. It's like it's very hard to do within the app, because if you don't find the right one in the app, it will make you kind of scan the replacement, and you have to show how many you get, but then you can't add another one on. Like if you wanted cookie dough and they
Yes.
had chocolate and peanut butter,
You
then
can't
I
mix and
can't
match.
say like, oh, I got you 4 peanut butter and 4 chocolate, because that would be separate items.
Yeah, you
if that
can't
makes
mix and
sense.
match them.
Yeah, so the perils of these app-based jobs, they're a little bit hard to kind of like do your own intuition with sometimes.
Yeah. You feel like they would allow the person that made the order, though, to go back in and change something. If you were to contact him and be like, hey, you need to change this, or it would allow you to override it somehow and still scan it. I don't know why it wouldn't still be trackable that way if you were allowed to override their shit.
True.
And there was contact messages to show for proof if they wanted to argue it,
And the other part too, like for example, he wanted organic arugula, and so they didn't have organic, but they had regular arugula. But then when I say they don't have organic, then it's like, oh, well, you can choose organic spinach or organic like something else. So then I choose the spinach, and he's like, no, I want regular arugula, and it's like, okay, well, let me do that. Like, it won't let me do that without him telling me to, if that makes sense. So it is a little bit frustrating because a lot of times they time you as well. So it was like, it took me about 42 minutes to like finish the whole thing in store, and then I had to finish it, which is why it took me a little bit to get over here too.
So when they time you, does like when they bid the job, obviously like they bid it and you accept or deny it or you just don't take it. Does it come with like, all right, you're only gonna get paid for X amount of time, any time over you don't get paid, or like why does the time matter?
Well, it goes into like an average as far as rating, and like it looks good for you to have a better time like ratio.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of things kind of, and I haven't really done it enough, I feel like, to care one way or another. I haven't checked my rating, but like if you get good produce, if you make good replacements, like if you wanted creamy peanut butter and they didn't have that brand, do I get you the same brand but crunchy, or do I get you a different brand but creamy? Like kind of that, what is it? Not jurisprudence, but whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Like that is all rated by the customer as well. So it's just like, I don't know. When they give you the price or the job, it's based off of like the app payment as well as the prospective tip from the customer. But it is one of those things that sometimes after I check it, it's like, oh, they didn't actually tip me like I thought they would too. So it's lower. I know. So like next time I'm just gonna roll in, throw it out of the window, and roll out on.
How sketchy? Are you able to see like which one didn't tip you? Or you're just like looking at your cumulative tips for the day and you're like, hey, they're looking low.
It's just the cumulative.
Okay, because like you can't be like, all right, I remember where that motherfucker lives. I'm going back and
maybe that's why they don't do it too.
I'm gonna throw flaming dog shit on his front porch.
I found your spare key.
Damn. I feel like if I did that, Instacart, like almost like YouTube, like they tell you not to look at the YouTube comments. Like, you hear that? Like, don't look at the comments; it'll fuck you up. Same thing if you're rating. Like, I would just never look at it. I wouldn't want to know. It's like it's the past, you know.
I do the same thing with my like Uber passenger rating. I never want to see like, did I get 4.99 stars? Like, because I never tip the driver. I always just say like, great conversation or other things like that. Because I figure, well, I'm already paying, and like the compliment is. The compliment is a tip enough. And so I don't want them to be like, fuck you, like you didn't tip me. 1-star passenger review. So I always wait at least a day before finishing my Uber driver review of somebody, so that way they can rate me as a passenger before I finish the review, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's why if we ever implement a social credit score in America like they do in China, like I'll probably be screwed. I don't know.
They have a social credit score?
Yeah. Have you ever heard about that? To where, like, let's say, for example,
I think I have.
You rode the bus. Like, the bus driver would rate you as a passenger, and you might rate the bus driver, or, like, just based on your interactions with everybody else, everybody would rate you depending on how good of like a citizen you were.
Oh, or like
the
actual,
gym manager, or like other people you pass on the street if you know their name, and then that would determine, can you apply for a loan? Can you get this kind of house to where like you would be a cut below?
So like dickheads couldn't get any loans and such, huh?
Yeah. So. Might be on its way.
I'd be ready to whoop everybody's fucking ass.
Yeah,
I'd be ready to whoop everybody's ass.
Yeah.
If I saw you in the past week and my shit dropped, like I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, bro?
I got nothing to lose.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There'd be a lot of ticking time bombs waiting for the surveys.
My life is nothing but a comedy.
Just awkward. Just about to freak out.
Yeah. You can't give me a low credit score if you have no credit score.
Damn, that's messed up. But I feel like I would never be able to look at my shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, so y'all trained. What did y'all train today?
I did legs.
It was hot. That's what he said. Yeah.
Squats.
I thought legs were for Sundays, man.
No, Mondays and or Fridays.
Oh yeah, y'all trained shoulders and arms yesterday.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I missed Saturday.
I
was doing manual labor.
Yeah.
Getting the farmer's tan activated.
Okay. Nice.
So had to put in some stone
what were you
into
doing
a hearth.
What's a hearth?
It's like a fireplace. Basically the base of a fireplace. Had to lay probably a stone the size of this table into it. And it was we had to get it under the trim of the fireplace.
Yeah.
But since it was such a tight fit with the surrounding flooring, and we had already mortared the bottom,
gotcha.
We were trying to just like tap it in with a rubber mallet. Last tap, stone cracked down the middle.
Yeah.
So some choice words were said. Thankfully, I didn't pay for it, but I felt bad too. Just like the last tap.
But you know what's cool though? I mean, you probably see it, but I'm sure you could fill that in somehow and like brush it.
We did mortar it, so it does look good, and also it's a very weathered. It's not like a marble looking thing. It's a very weathered looking stone, so it does kind of it blends pretty well. But I will say too, like, I feel like it's one of those things, until you own a home, you probably always think that, oh, well, home projects will be fun, like painting my own house or replacing this and that. But I'm sure once you get into it and spend some chunks of change and things don't work out like you want, and you got to make a few extra cuts here and there, or something gets scuffed, then it's just like...
And with the house, there's always going to be something that needs to be fixed. Like always, after you fix one thing, there's going to be something else that needs to be taken care of. It's like never ending.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed I don't know about y'all, but like living in an apartment complex, not cutting grass, not worrying about the AC breaking, not worrying about paint or carpet getting messed up. Like, it just is what it is, you know?
See,
Yeah, Dobie just pisses on the carpet. I'm like, well, I mean, we spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I will
Good
say,
boy.
I don't know, maybe like just from growing up and doing a lot of home projects, I like it. I like cutting grass, and like there's something almost like Norman Rockwell painting-esque, I feel like, about like farmhouse life or other things like that when I go see my aunt and uncle and they hang the clothes on the line or other things like that. I do like that.
Well, it's like called it's like mindless labor that just kind of gives you a chance to kind of like mentally space out and take a break from all this stuff. It's kind of like I kind of like don't mind doing laundry because it's like you kind of just get in the zone.
Yeah, when your hands are occupied, your mind can kind of wander.
Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes manual labor, like yard work, housework, kind of just lets you just take a break from all the shit you gotta do.
Yeah. And then also I feel like too, for me, like growing up too, when I lived with my dad, we kind of had free reign to like, I got room darkening shades and like a window AC unit, and then painted my walls and ceiling dark brown to be able to sleep in until like noon. And so like you never know how much light gets sapped from a room until everything is dark brown, and then like the one ceiling light, it's like you're gonna have to have like flashlights to be able to see in the corners and stuff. But I will say, like in my apartment now, I almost feel like everything was just like a batch order of the cheapest stuff, to where like my garbage disposal is messed up, dishwasher, washer and dryer, lights, other things like that, just because like the other day, I'm trying to think of what he replaced, but he basically just like, it was my sliding door to the bathroom. He basically just duct taped it to like the screws.
We had that, old ass building that we had lived in, and they had so many shit that was wrong when we first moved in. First of all, like the cleaning crew that was supposed to come in before we moved in never came, so we like mopped the whole like wooden floor place. And then like we had, the oven wouldn't work for a while. They had to replace the burners. That took a month. We have like massive beehives in all the windows. We had Maddie went and smashed like one wasp one day, and the window shattered, and they replaced it with like a thin piece of plexiglass. God, what else? There was a leak in the bathtub, and then they like tried to fix that 3 different times before it was finally fixed. They just like slapped, like you said, like duct tape or Band-Aids on like everything instead of actually repairing stuff.
And it is funny because I feel like at this point, I just don't even like take pride in my like domicile anymore, to where like the toilet, like when you flush it, water comes out of the handle onto the floor. And so for a while I'd always like try to like pad that up, but now I'm like, oh fuck it, if the like trim rots, like
not my problem.
I'll be out of here in like 3 months.
But you know, I definitely understand what y'all were saying. Like when I lived at home and back in Tappahannock, like when you did finish cutting the grass, you felt accomplished. Like you were able to look back at a finished product and be like, damn, I put in some work. I was an hour and a half or whatever pushing, weed eating, trimming, and whatnot. And same thing with like, doing other house duties. But one thing I do enjoy though, and I guess it's like a give and take. Yes, I'm living in like the cheapest bid place. Like everything's the cheapest utilities, cheapest fridge, oven, whatever, AC unit. It literally breaks every year. Every year they replace it and it breaks. Like I think literally we tried to turn the AC on yesterday, wouldn't cut one. So, but the thing is, I think I enjoy like not having to stress though. I'm
it's
like,
nice
true.
It's not
like it's like, it's not my, fuck it. All we do is put in an email request and they show up and patch it. duct tape
That
it.
is true. Because when we first moved in with my dad to a different house, as soon as we ran the laundry machine, like it flooded the room, and so then like he had to replace the machine, and then that was an extra expense of like getting the flooring and stuff. So I guess it is like when it's not your dollar sort of thing. Then
Yeah.
it's just like, all right, well, it is what it
And
is.
just knowing that it's getting taken care of, like when I'm not, like potentially when I'm not at home. So like when I show back up, it's like fixed. Like nobody even was there most of the time.
That's a good point too. That's why like some of my clients lease cars, and they say that that's the better deal. But I just feel like I wouldn't want to keep perpetually paying into something that I'll never own too.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some things that you want to own, some things you don't, because especially when you think like financial, like equity, like it makes more sense to buy a house or property and to pay that mortgage, or if you buy a property and rent it to someone who's going to basically pay the mortgage for you. Versus like a car though depreciates I think faster than something like a house. So maybe that I can see some people making more sense of leasing. But like I finished paying off my car, like now I know that it's mine. I don't have to worry about paying something every month. And then also like when I do sell it, I'm going to get a few grand back for it. So there's pros of that.
But let me ask you this though: how quickly were your payment? Like, did you pay it off quicker than expected?
I paid it off quicker than expected.
Yeah, most people. I took 72-month payment planner. I think it was like the longest you could take. It was like fucking like 5 years.
Yeah.
And by the time the 5 years was up, I already pretty much had 190,000 miles in the car. It's like, well, shit, it's already pretty much worthless now.
Time to sell, yeah.
Yeah, it's 200. Now I have 201,000 miles in the car. Most people. I mean, but there are people out there that do pay it quickly. But
Yeah.
With the lease though, I found out that you cannot drive over a certain mileage.
You get
too.
fined.
That yeah.
One of my
it's
clients
just like,
is always
I
leased.
have a car, but you're telling me I can't
And
drive when I
sometimes-
want to. Like if you
sometimes,
went to the
yeah.
Arnold, they'd be like,
Yeah, you can't drive it too
Ooh.
many miles. There's also some other restrictions I think they have it on as well. But I don't know. It depends how you use the car, what you use it for. If you do a lot of like road tripping, driving far places, probably shouldn't lease. If it's a car you want to have for a long term or something, then you probably want to purchase it.
One thing I wish was a little bit easier to be commonplace was motorcycles, because motorcycles are pretty cheap and they get good gas mileage too. And I just feel like it would be so fun. But everyone I know who has a motorcycle has gotten into an accident
Yes.
with it too. So
or
They
paralyzed.
just seem pretty. They seem pretty lethal. Yeah,
Yeah,
they seem
they
like,
do look
like
fun,
if you
though.
crash, you either die or you're seriously injured. There's no like, just got a couple scratches. Like,
I followed Jason Momoa, and just seeing videos of him like old Harley tearing down like the Mojave Desert, just
that's
a big
cool.
chopper. It's just like, damn, that looks
But
so fun.
you're not going through downtown Richmond where everybody's on their phone looking down,
Yeah, it's
and
stopping
you're
you.
getting T-boned in that intersection because the person didn't stop at the stop sign or just didn't look when they turned
hit
over.
the
It's like,
pothole.
I just think of like GTA, like when you run into someone on a motorcycle and your body goes flying. Yeah,
and
That's
it's
what I
like,
think.
and it skips across the pavement.
Yeah, that's
Wasted.
what I think of. Yeah, Maddie actually was playing GTA last night.
Damn, that's such a
She
good
was-
game.
She was just fucking with me because I, been playing Xbox a little more recently because I had a little bit more free time, like everybody else, and so I finally, I don't know why I never finished it. I think I did on the 360, but I finally finished the campaign for GTA 5 on Xbox One, and so I'd been playing recently. So she just was fucking with me last night after we finished watching an episode of Ozark, and turned it on, started playing. And she just like was having such a hard time trying to like drive around and like turn the camera. Use
Did
the
she
controls.
stop at the stoplight?
Yes, she stopped at the stoplight. I told her, Maddie,
Law-abiding
you don't need
citizen.
you don't need to do that. And then I told her to like how to like equip like a weapon and everything. And then as soon as she got the cops on her, she got all scared and
Oh my
was trying
God.
to
She's
drive
gotta
away.
go to the tunnel.
I know she like ran into a pole, one of the poles that you can't knock down. And she was like, I'm stuck. I was like, just give it to me. And I just
start
pulled out the
blasting.
shotgun, started blasting. Yeah,
You took care of
and
them,
then and then I drove her to the airport so we could get away. But then of course there's a helicopter, and I gave it to her. And what did she try to do with the plane? What do you think she tried to do? She
Land
tried to
it?
do some loop-de-loops and shit, and immediately nosedived the plane. And I told her, parachute. And so she hit the Y to get out of the plane, but as soon as she got out, there was no time to pull the parachute. She just head-butted like a building and died. And I was like, God
Now,
damn.
which character did she play as?
Well, she didn't. I didn't tell her how to change it, so she was
Oh.
Trevor. So she was like the
good
redneck.
choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
She was like, who the hell is this? So I was like, don't worry about it.
That's funny.
I haven't played since like PS2. Vice City.
I'd
maybe?
never played GTA before.
I have
so
it on PC. I haven't played that one though.
When,
But they
5
have the collection. You can get all of them.
when 5 came out, I was like a year or two into like my first 360 I'd ever had. And again, like I never played like GTA, and I was like, "Holy shit, this game's awesome! Like you can do anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
There's strippers, killing people, drugs, money, all this stuff. You can do like anything in it." And 5, I think, is like the best one they've come out with, like based off people's like reviews and everything. And it broke like records because it sold like $1 billion or something. And but it's funny looking back on it now because it's almost a full like 8 years since it came out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they should have a new one out. I think next year is what people are saying. But again, it's like, who knows? Like, by now, I think it should have been out, so who fucking knows? But I'm tempted to try Red Dead Redemption, which is like the same kind of concept, but it's like Western,
I
heard
played
that's
something
good.
like that. It wasn't that game, but I played
Yeah.
something like that. It was really fucking good. Like Cowboys, Indians type things,
For some reason, though, it's still like full price to buy. Like, I think it's like $10 off,
Damn.
even though it came out. I think Red Dead 2 came out like in 2015 or 16, but it's still like full price. So, I mean, I could afford it, but I don't
That's
know.
how I felt. I don't know if you ever played Skyrim or Fallout or anything
No.
like that, but those kind of games too, like very open world. You can kind of create your character, do whatever you want, pickpocket somebody or help them or like shoot them in the head or other things like that. But that game, when it first came out too, like you play as kind of a medieval, like you can be an elf or like an orc or other things like that, and you're kind of thrown into this sprawling like fantasy area where there's dragons or other things like that. You can explore these dungeons, and it was just such a weird feeling to be like, oh, I can like pick up this rake and like keep it with me, or like I don't know, make
My
this
thing
potion.
with
or
buying
other
video
things like
games
that.
is like, I have to like think when I buy it, not can I afford it, should I buy it, whatever. It's more like, is it worth the time I'm gonna put into the game? 'Cause
Yes.
sometimes I know that like, if I buy X game, I'm gonna put in a lot of fucking hours, and so I need to know, okay, is it worth it for me to like waste this time? But one thing I will say is like, when I bought like NBA, like 2K, which I usually buy like every year, although this year sucked.
You like the sports ones?
I'm really into sports games, yeah.
like
We've
they're
been
the
playing a lot of
same
UFC.
thing every year. I feel like
They basically are just updated rosters, but you know what? It's usually, I don't know. Don't worry about it. Anyway, point is, I put in like a ridiculous amount of hours that first month it came out. But the thing is, I feel like because I want to play it, I finish like my freelance work, whatever, faster, and I'm more time efficient.
Yeah.
But point is, they're like, when I buy a game, they're like contemplating Red Dead 2. I'm like, well, if I buy it, I know I'm gonna want to play it a shit ton, and so I need to know like, well, do I really want to waste that much time on like a game right now? And so I've kind of been putting it off, but I don't. Yeah.
So y'all might know more about it than me. Like I said, I haven't played since like the PS2 days, and over 10 years.
Well,
But
to
anyways,
get you back on.
please don't. That's
you
one.
got a gaming PC.
I do, right?
Well, I'm the only one without a PC, so
I
I'm not
know.
hopping on the PC.
There's no way. I would like Brock saying,
You
like
get sucked
I would.
in?
I am that type. You open the door, Pandora's box. It's like I'm gone.
Yeah, Sarah's like, where are you? At the HQ, putting
in
in orders.
Overtime, babe.
Tying a hooker to a
Yeah.
train track in Red Dead.
Yeah.
Handling some business. But how is GTA not so like? So like Fortnite, how it's like widely played. There's so many people can play together on like the same platform online. Is there such a thing for GTA to do
They
that
do
way?
have
GTA
online,
has
yes.
online.
But why is that not as big? Because you can literally do everything in it.
It
Really,
is-
Fortnite was more of a game changer that I feel like really like cross-platform. A lot of people like that's really what I feel like upped the ante to a lot of multiplayer games. Because before that, it was a lot of Call of Duty or other things like that, where it was like a death match, or with Grand Theft Auto, I think you could do different heists and stuff. But like, it really wasn't. It was
Not
like
as
something
engaging.
fun to do with friends, but it wasn't like oh, this is why I would get this game.
But it's
sort
still
of thing.
a shoot 'em up. Like it's everybody versus everybody.
Online, no. So online GTA, how it works is like you said, like you can do heists, you can do different jobs, you can do races. They have like little courses, but it's not quite as fun as the story mode, and it's not quite as fun as even honestly just BSing with your friends with your characters. But it's just not as time consuming and like engaging as like Fortnite, as playing 3 hours of matches on Call of Duty or something, where you're kind of like locked in, and it's kind of like one after the other. It's kind of like you got to kind of have something in mind that you want to try
Gotcha.
or do and stuff. But
Yeah, I never knew. 'Cause
Yeah.
I used to get lost in the sauce with GTA. Like you just go blazing
Yeah.
around. You see how many stars you could get.
Yeah.
You see
That's
what
the
cars
thing.
you could steal. Like what buildings you could jump off of. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or too, some of the older ones, it was fun to know the cheats to
Yeah, you
where
could get
like
the flying cars and whatever.
Yeah.
yeah. Or if you got a bunch of stars, like get some sort of crazy weapon or jetpack or something.
You can get a tank.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can steal a tank. 'Cause those things were badass. Damn, it's good days. But I do have some topics to go over.
Let's jump into them.
Yeah, let's do it. So these are questions that were asked on my social media. So if you don't follow Gymflo or me, or even these guys, if you want to, you definitely give us a follow. Yeah, and I'm going to be asking for questions Sunday night, usually for the shows like this today. And one of the questions is something that just happened this weekend, which was fucking amazing to see. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that cool, but I was fired up watching it. Was the 1,100 pound deadlift?
Did you watch it live?
Yeah,
I didn't. I watched it like 30 minutes after because I knew it was that Saturday, and so I like saw like some people had some like live stream watch parties like set up, so I knew it was. Are you on sync?
What do you
Y'all
mean?
are like
Oh
still
yeah,
on
we
sync
did.
with Jernigan.
Dude.
Anyway, but
Vibing.
so I saw it happen, and like 30 minutes later, I like watched it, but yeah, it just how easily he picked up 972
Crazy.
was like. It made me feel really bad. I was like,
We deadlifted the other day
Yeah.
for the first
Picking
time.
up
We-
about
We did
315.
275.
275, and we did
Ooh.
10 to 6. It wasn't hard,
My
but it was
hamstrings
like,
were-
And it probably
Hurting
felt
after.
like 1,000.
yeah, it felt, yeah. We should have had like a live party for that, sponsored by Rogue and Gymflo.
Yeah.
But yeah, and but it was cool watching him. It's funny because all lifts combined was probably like 30 seconds of total time, but they made it like this long ass event with talking and all that, which is fine. But I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was sweet.
So
I'm
does
glad-
it count?
Yes, it
Yes,
does. I'm
yes.
glad they made it count too. They
too.
calibrated apparently between sets or between attempts. They like weighed every single
Every
plate,
single plate. Live,
which is
they were doing it.
kind of insane. But anyway, but no, it's
What
awesome.
does
that
Eddie
he did-
Hall say?
So
He's kind of pissed.
I
He's
think
talking
he was
a lot of shit.
definitely pissed, and they were both talking a lot of shit between each other. It looked like I didn't keep up with it. I'm not a true strongman or powerlifter
Yeah, me
like
neither.
at heart, so I don't really care. But it was impressive to see a world record like that getting broke because it's a fuck ton of weight,
My
man.
thing is like if you're Eddie Hall, like I get it, like you're annoyed if someone breaks your record,
It's bound to happen
but
though.
it's bound to happen, like you said, and it's like there's no reason to be butthurt about it. Like you're retired, you're having a successful career, like doing social media and stuff. Like just move on from it. But it's like to like talk shit to some dude that, like whether you like it or not, he smashed your record.
And especially, yeah, it would have been different if like he barely got it, and he'd be like, oh well, he barely got it. But dude, fucking did it with ease.
And when
coulda-
Eddie did it, he went to the hospital
Yeah.
after. This for
what?
Thor was fine. He like fell over
internal
immediately after he
bleeding or
finished
some
it.
shit.
Internal bleeding, like
Whatever
he,
it
like, blew up.
takes.
Yeah. Granted, I think Eddie's only like 6'3", so he looks a lot. I hate to say it, but fatter when he's at like his competing weight.
Yeah.
When Thor, not that Thor is freaking shredded, but he's 6'8". He holds the weight better.
Yeah.
I think, and his structure's just made to be ridiculously
I think
strong.
it said that he weighed in at 450 pounds. For
What
this
do y'all think about that, though? Because to a certain point, he's going to have a genetic advantage. Because I almost feel like, not to be like the devil's advocate,
No.
but I feel like his weight, his height, his build, like, I almost feel like he should be even stronger than that.
and he will be.
And especially when I see him at the Arnold, like,
Yeah.
for example, when I watched him do the strongman competition, granted, he was blowing through some of the stuff with ease, but I was just thinking, like, you know, the stuff that's challenging for other people, he's doing it pretty easily, but I want to see, like, him turn up to 11 and, like, grind through a rep of, like, 1,600 or something like that.
I think, to your point, though, it kind of brings up another point, like, what's more impressive? Is it Eddie, or is it someone like Steffi Cohen that, you know, does 4 or 5 times her body weight? I'm sure there's a male equivalent. And I feel like those are technically more impressive, but I mean, at the same way that, I feel like we talked about this weeks ago, is like, you know, just as the light heavyweight or welterweight, like boxing or UFC champ might be the better fighter pound for pound, we all want to see the heavyweights
freak.
and the big guys and the freaks, Tyson
Yeah.
Fury, the 6'8" dude, like throwing hands, we want to see the heaviest weight lifted more than we want to see the pound for pound weight lifted. So, I don't know. I think it's kick ass. I think the boxing match things is nonsense.
yeah, it's a money grab for
But
sure.
I think if they, well, I don't think they're gonna do it. But if they did, I think Thor would knock his ass out. I think
sure.
his reach would.
Reach is crazy.
Yeah, and he just, like I said, he seems more athletic and more agile at that weight. Have you ever seen the clip of him and Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, in that clip, I don't know if anybody saw that clip, but Conor McGregor, UFC fighter, very, very light, like 150 pounds,
155 usually, yeah.
against a 400-pound guy at 6'9". If Thor wanted to, yes, he probably couldn't have like been very quick to land like hits, but if Thor got his hands on Conor,
Yeah, if it was
fight
an
would be
MMA
over.
match, it'd be over. Even
Over.
like boxing match, it'd be over. Like there's a point where you know the strength advantage and size advantage is too much. Like for example, like a 125-pound flyweight in the UFC would kick my ass. no doubt. You don't even have to be the champion. Like, they kick all of our asses.
Yeah.
Even, like, probably 125, 135 woman, like, the competitive would kick our ass. But maybe an amateur 125 woman or an amateur 125 guy probably wouldn't kick our ass. Like, they might land some punches, but eventually, like you said, if we can get our hands on them or, you know, get close, get on the
brute
ground,
strength.
brute
Well,
strength.
yeah, after seeing like Thor do the keg throw, where he throws the 100-something pound keg, like
Just grabbing
20 feet
Connor
up,
and just
he
throwing-
grabbed Connor and just threw him up like that. Just it's like Team Rocket blasting off again. You see a little in the sky.
Yeah. But I don't know. To some point, there's some strength thing. But,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this too, but a few years ago, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years, Thor broke the record that was set in Icelandic mythology, to where almost like, let's say for example, Christian mythology, like Samson, if somebody outstrength Samson and then pulled down a temple or something like that. So there's a
I'm lost.
there's a myth in Icelandic legend
Okay.
about there was some sort of catastrophe or something that was about to happen, and like the champion or Viking or whoever it was, like carried a log that was a certain weight, a certain amount of paces to like wall off something, I believe. And Thor broke the record of that legend. He carried the same weight log more paces than in the story, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So he's stronger than their gods.
He's a demigod, or what do you call
Side
it?
note, quick note. Did y'all see? I don't think any of us are super into video games, but I've never been a big Assassin's Creed guy. But the next one coming out is all Viking related.
I didn't see the video for
I
that.
saw the trailer.
It looks
It's pretty
fucking
cool.
good.
It looks pretty cool.
For how crazy video games have gotten.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm 2010, 2011 maybe.
I'm very casual with it, but I still
and it's
enjoy
like,
it. Yeah.
man, graphics have gotten super crazy.
Yeah.
Super
Anyway,
crazy.
Side note.
Yeah.
What's the next topic?
Next topic is,
We can kind of bundle that, I think, with the last question.
yeah,
too.
for sure. What do we think of the gym culture in Richmond, Virginia? And if any, how could it be improved in any way? Anybody have any inputs on like the current? Well, obviously there's no culture at the moment because everybody's doing home workouts right now.
It's funny how you define culture too, because it's like, yeah, we're talking about like what is like the overbearing community, but that's different because like, I think most people on social media are maybe probably going to Golds, so that's like what they think of when they think of like gym culture community.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people that go to Crunch, a whole bunch of people that are strong, big, or great in their own right. They go to AmFam or different places, so it's kind of like you got a lot of different communities that I guess make up this culture. So you can't really say like one overbearing thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and well, I'm thinking of like when I think of culture, I'm thinking of like where's the it place is like where majority of people either make. When I think of the gym culture in Richmond, it's like if Richmond had like a place like the Shop Gym, like it'd be like, oh, that's the Mecca or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Like, but as far I get what you're saying though, how it's all spread out. It's very diverse. It's different gyms, and it's hard to put a culture around such a widespread of.
Even I think though with like somewhere like the Shop though, like I think if that was to be open in Virginia, I think a lot of where people go is based off their price, convenience, and just like what's close to them, which kind of goes with convenience. Because I think even if people really like Laburnum Golds, like, like we think Laburnum Gold's pretty sweet, where the part of the gyms are, but it's a 35 minute drive for us every single day. I mean, that turns into like an extra hour out of our day. We'd rather just go to Willow Lawn, suck it up if it's not quite as good or whatever it is. And I think even if like the Shop was close by, like I think a lot of people would go, but to act like everyone who's super into lifting or whatever at Gold's Gym would just disappear and hop on over, I don't really think it would quite be that.
I kind of feel like, though, a little different because at least for the last couple years, like, even though I get in free to all the Golds, like I would pay $35 a month to Wolfgang's, and I'd usually drive 30 minutes there and back every time I lifted, just because to me, like, they played good music, like they had cool equipment, like the people there I felt like were similar to like the Shop, to where it is people that, are more so into competing. It's not just like casual treadmill with like the TV on in front or other things like that, to where I kind of felt like it was more so like not a mecca per se, but like you go there with the intention of having a good workout. Because before that, like my gym that I would pay for that was the closest to where I lived in Ashland was Virginia Center AmFam, and nothing's worse, I feel like, than going into the gym with the intention of setting a PR, and like you go in and the atmosphere is just completely dead, and like you just hear an echoing like of the treadmill in the corner, and then the vacuum.
I worked there 3
and
years.
other things like that. And so it's like I'll take my pre-workout, listen to my hype song, pull in, and then just go in and be like, okay, how quick can I leave, sort of thing. Now I kind of feel like Laburnum is that place for me, and it is pretty close. I would say like 10 or so minutes away. And I do feel like when I go in there, it's a lot of people that are more serious, more focused like that, and that's why I like going to the shop. But it does remind me the last party in the gym that we had when we talked to Ryan, since so many people had come from all over, and like we had the speaker out there, and like everybody was kind of like supporting each other, or like people were putting other people on their story and like spotting them the last few reps and like talking competition and crap. Like that was so cool. And I remember we talked to Ryan about how it was like, man, if we could have something like this every night when we came in here, every day, like you look forward to that energy, and like your buddies like all on your team sort of thing, like that would be awesome. But a lot of people kind of have not ego per se, but kind of walls up or other things like that, to where you might like somebody's pictures on social media, you might follow them, but like in person it might just be a nod hello and you put your headphones back on.
I think we want a community and a culture that is like that, to where, like, even when I worked at, VCC gym, like you said, like, it's not all about people that are like most of them aren't serious lifters, but at the same time, like, everyone's supportive. You're asking, how are the kids? How is this or that? How's this job you're working towards? Like, it's all very supportive, and everyone's consistently, like, there. I think right now, like you kind of hinted at, it's like you have a lot of almost factions within each kind of Gold's Gym or Gold's Gyms overall, and the gym culture, to where, like, there's certain groups that, I don't know, everyone kind of breaks up into their own kind of little groups, and it seems like there's, like, not necessarily obvious beef between ones, but it seems like you just have people, like you said, that just kind of like each other's pictures, but when push comes to shove, like, there's not really, like, genuine support or interest for each other.
Yes.
And it just seems, I don't know, very fake, I guess. I don't know. Not all fake. I think overall the gym culture is pretty good, and I think a lot of people are starting to become more serious, and I think there is a lot of support with each other, but I feel like there's...
Hello.
Bitch,
Siri. I feel like there just becomes these factions and divisions, I guess, get created.
Yeah. I agree with both of y'all when that's like sort of thought out like that. For some reason, this really doesn't have anything to do with culture, but I guess it does because it draws me to the gym. But like you were saying, Griffin, I drive past the exit going to Willow Lawn. I drive past the Fan or through downtown Richmond, and I could go to the Fan, and I always, 9 times out of 10, would go to Laburnum, which is an extra 10 minutes away compared to the other two gyms. But for the longest time, I hated Laburnum. But they hired the new GM, Clay, really started taking care of the gym, really caring, and that helped with new equipment and just really caring about freshening it up and really working together with not only the members but Gymflo with creating the party in the gym or helping us have that there. And I do get that there's like factions and different quote-unquote like maybe cliques of people, but one thing that we've been trying, I guess, that answers the question or improve it is, and I really have seen a difference, before the fucking pandemic happened, was the party in the gyms, When people came out to that, it was some people that were coming to that were people that you would just get a like on from Instagram, but really would never talk to them.
I don't think it's like it's like the divisions or groups are made on purpose or cliques are made on purpose.
No.
I think it's more just like who shows up around what time, who knows who, and it kind of just creates that way. But then I meet a lot of people at these events that I never really went to Gold's Gym, but we follow each other, we like each other's pictures, we support each other, and then we meet each other at the party in the gym and kind of make that friendship and connection. That's what the whole goal of the party in the gym is, which it's great to see.
Yeah. And that was one of the main focuses was, having something for RVA for people, like-minded people, to get together and actually finally meet. You follow these people, and we put a few videos together, just like, coming out, everybody getting to meet one another, lift with one another, learn some new things, and, I don't know, just be able to have fun and relate. But I think that's one way that we're making efforts to improve the culture and sort of bring something to Richmond like that. But other than that, there's no... I don't think there's really anything else that like could be improved. Is just by everybody just being a little bit more open, a little bit, just being good people and wanting to talk and not being like standoffish and like, oh, I'm too good. I don't know, because I think a lot of people do have a like an ego.
I think the mindset I always try to have that keeps me kind of even keeled is like, there's always someone bigger than me or stronger than me. So there's no deal to kind of make everything competitive with other people or to kind of try to one-up yourself or whatever it is. It's kind of like you just got to realize there's a lot of other people. We're all here like with the same goal is to get better. So kind of just got to embrace that.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Well, I mean, besides the party in the gym, I mean, those have been really going well, I think. And I'm excited for more once the gyms open back up. But
which kind of leads you into like, what do we think about? What's the next question? Isn't it about gyms opening?
yeah, so the next one is, what would be your first workout? Or what is going to be your first workout when the gyms open back up? What's day one? What are you hitting?
Calves. It's been a long time.
Trying to get rid of this.
Yeah, that belly.
Oh, classic client answer.
I don't know, for me, because I go to train most of the time because I'm not able to meet up with them during certain times at Brock's little home gym, but I drive out to a place called Full Potential Athlete out in New Kent, and he's opened his doors up for me and a few other people, or actually almost anybody if you hit him up. He's just not trying to be willy-nilly on inviting everybody, but if you hit him up, he'll probably let you come over. And a gracious donation would probably help out with his home gym because it is his business, but I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, I love squatting, I do, but there's only like 10 sets of squats that I can do, and it's like, man, my legs are like toast. What else can I do besides a couple banded like leg extensions and lunges? But it's like, man, I'd kill to have like a hack squat or a leg press back to like
Jefferson squats, man.
Oh, dude,
You're missing
my
them.
hips feel tight just thinking about that.
Yeah, no, it is limiting though. Sometimes I feel like I almost feel the inverse way about legs, to where it's not like I have unlimited things. Like I do miss a hack squat, a leg press, a leg extension, and leg curl for sure. But I feel like with front squats, back squats, deadlifts, RDLs, we do banded leg curls and leg extension, which are Jefferson's, like, there's so many different ways we can hit legs that I feel like I can still have a good workout in, and same deal with arms, like different variations of curls or extensions or push-ups, all these different things. But when it comes down to like what I'm really missing at the gym, or what we could hit back, we touched on it before the podcast, was chest and back. Because like not having a good chest press machine, a pull down, a good row machine, pec deck fly, cable crossover, like that's tough to simulate with bands or with bodyweight stuff. Like we've been bench pressing, and setting up an incline bench, and it's good. It gets a pump, like definitely sore, but it's not quite the same kind of soreness and type of mind muscle connection we can get with cables and such.
Yeah.
And one thing I would say too that's gonna feel a little bit weird in an actual gym again is, I will say I don't miss a mirror in front of the squat rack, because a lot of times too I like look at, there's a crack in the middle of the mirror that like makes my foot position look weird, or like when I'm coming up I'm like, my hip shot up before my chest or something like that, to where I almost like preemptively stop myself because I'm like, okay, this is messing up. This is falling apart at the seams. So where in Brock's gym, it's been nice to kind of just like keep going until you're done, and you kind of do it by feel, versus like I'm much more sensitive now to like, my knees are kind of dipping a little bit or other things like that, but it doesn't feel like I'm like hypercritical. It feels more so like, okay, fix that next rep sort of thing.
I hate when I walk out for a squat and there's people walking right around me or right around my bar.
You're right.
Or right in my like field of vision. I'm like, get the fuck away. Especially if it's heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm already nervous about it.
And they come to take a plate.
Oh, yeah. That too, yeah.
Out of all the other, especially at like Laburnum, where there's so many plates around that, but people do come up around your bar, like when you're squatting or even when you're benching. Like they'll like,
You know what plates I really don't like? Not to go off on a tangent.
Hex.
No, what?
Hex plates. There's like
those suck, but no. The Escape Your Limits plates at all the Gold's gyms.
Oh yeah,
they suck.
They're worthless.
Because they're not a bumper plate, and they're also not a regular plate.
Yeah,
they're just like this tinker toy thing.
Yeah, and they look like they fit together like in a puzzle piece way, but they don't.
They don't line up at all.
No, they suck. They feel weird.
I don't like those racks. Well, I feel like I'm bitching about the gym bringing in new equipment, but I do not really like. I hate squatting those.
Are they the hammer strength racks?
I don't think they're hammer strength. I'm not sure what they are.
They are Escape.
I think
Your
they're
Limits.
Escape.
That's the brand.
And like, I hate the racks.
The platform is
talking
so
about the
small.
one-
Yes.
Which
The
which
colorful ones,
Laburnum.
Willow Lawn and Laburnum. The
Oh.
blue ones with the red
Yeah, they
handles.
suck.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
suck
I
really bad.
do
I
not like
squatted
them.
once on them when you were like warming up. I saw you, down the way when we talked, and I think it was like the last week before everything closed. But yeah, it sucks. Simply put.
No, I don't like. Yeah, I'm not a big
And
fan
what's
of that
sad is
brand.
they probably paid a premium
Huge.
for that, and I don't know. Again, just
They probably got a good bulk deal or something because
Yeah.
all the gyms got it. I think the Fan,
Yeah.
Willow Lawn, and
Yeah.
Laburnum, so they probably all got a good deal. But yeah, stick to the other shit. I don't know, buying. I don't know. I've been really happy with all the pre-owned shit. Like they bought the Hack Squat pre-owned. They bought the
GHR.
yeah. They bought a few other pieces like the single leg ham curl machine that was
Yeah, that was
pre-owned, like old school. There's a bunch of like the donkey calf
Oh,
raise.
you never got to see, or did we do it the day that we worked out at Laburnum? The abductor
Ooh,
press that
dude.
they just put in, the plate loaded. You like push down and out
Ass
as you
cheeks.
sit.
like the
And-
gluterator.
Yeah.
I think it's what
Yes,
it's called.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I haven't done it yet.
That was
Maddie
pretty
said,
cool.
Maddie said it's really good.
Shredded ass cheeks.
Yeah.
You'll feel like fingers rip around your ass. Like it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's how
Sounds
you,
like a good time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess to answer that question, for me, probably legs, just because I want to hack squat. For some reason, I love a hack squat. I love a leg press too, but I'd probably be my first day back would probably be like a leg day or something.
We've been ending some of our workouts lately with posing as well, so that's going to be a staple when the gym's open
With some
too.
mirrors,
Is
nice.
going to just
Go
be
right in the
hitting
middle of the
posing.
gym, take your shirt and shorts off.
Yeah, drop to the skivvies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why it is sad that, because you had told me that Laburnum was potentially putting in the outdoor area.
yes.
I feel that probably will be delayed now, and it would be perfect time with this kind of weather for it too.
I feel like it'd be smarter to do that because having people outside, not stuck in
Yeah.
one building. But I doubt they're going to put any money into the gyms with how much they probably lost over these past few months.
So will you be wearing a mask if they open and you have to wear a mask?
Yes, I don't know. So I've been talking to most of my clients. Like this morning, I talked to two of my clients who are like, hey, what are you thinking? Do you think the gyms are going to start opening back on May 8th? Because there's a big word about shit starting to open back up in Virginia, at least, because we're in Virginia. And it's like, I highly doubt anything. Like the way shit looks, like I doubt. Even if the governor did give the okay, I doubt the gyms would still open back up till like later this month, if not June. Right?
I'm curious. I don't know. That's a good question.
I was looking at a map, and basically we're one of only like 10 states that really don't plan on opening up at least full force anytime soon. And yeah, Northam just isn't having it. Northam doesn't want anyone to get out and about, which, I guess he's playing it safe. But yeah, I don't think the gyms are going to be allowed to fully open until the June 10th that he originally said. Even if they do, it's going to have weird policy, like you said, like requiring a mask or these different things, which it's not a major deal. But I don't really like the idea of like government enforcement, or it's not government enforcement, but enforcement basically of something like that. But I get it's public health, and then I just don't want to be rushed with like a 30-minute workout with only 10 people and all
Yeah.
these weird regulations. Like I just want to either be able to fully lift like
All
normal,
in or nothing.
or nothing at all. Yeah.
I'm the same way. Same thing with my clients because they're like, well, I don't want to take the chance if it does open back up. And it's like, well, do we try and do it? It's like, no, it's not even probably worth doing it because we'd have to wait in line. And then if we do get in, then we'd have 30 minutes to like rush through whatever. And
Yeah.
probably not. So it's just best to still work out at home. But yeah, super weak. But it is what it is. Do you have any, what you got going on over there?
Yeah, I got some good questions.
Yeah.
I don't know. This kind of like switches up topics, but I don't know. I think it'll be good. So I have kind of two ways to word this question, and I want to hear what y'all think, and I'll kind of add to it. But what drives you more, whether it's like business or just like your goals and stuff? Is it fear of failure or like desire for success? In other words, like what drives you more, like negative motives or positive motives? You know what I mean?
I think for me, and I'll answer it, and it's not clear cut for me. I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of tired of being broke, tired of not feeling fulfilled, but then also, so like I guess that's so-called fear, maybe, on the fear side. But then there's also me like knowing that there is more for me. That I deep down believe like I should be doing something great, like, and I'm going to. Like it's just gonna take fucking time, which sucks, but it's the honest truth. So I'm ready to accept that and swallow that fucking huge pill, and just be like, man, like ain't shit easy, because if it was, everybody else would be fucking driving around and like living the life, you know. But I think it's a little bit of both for me, and I hate to say that, like not be a clear cut. But if I had to give
No,
one,
it's definitely. I think it's always mixed.
one more than other, I'd definitely say it's probably more so the fact I'm tired of being in the situations that I'm
Some
in.
more negative motives
Yeah.
for failure.
Yeah.
I would say probably motivation for better, because I have had different points of time where I have been on like the lower end, and it is one of those things I will say, like sometimes, and you know, things could have been worse, but like I have been to the point where like I have been riding my bike because I couldn't afford gas, and like would get like frostbite because it was the dead of winter, or like whatever the term before that is, and like I don't know, ordering a pizza was like a Christmas treat to myself, or other things like that.
I know exactly
and
what you're
it was one of those
about,
things
though.
like I would go across the gym to use the bathroom, couldn't afford toilet paper at the place I was living, and it's like,
My man.
well, I would say the biggest thing is like, at the time, it didn't really seem like it was like, oh, this is horrible, life sucks. Like, it's one of those things like you kind of just like, okay, well, you know, you learn what you live without, sort of thing. So I would say like I'm not really scared of that, because like you kind of learn what's important and like what's essential, or other things like that too, and like how to kind of get by. But the other hand, I would say it is good to have things. I don't know why my voice keeps cracking. It is
Spread
good.
those legs a little bit. Let
It
them
is
drop.
good to
Dude.
have those things that like you aspire to. And I would also say, like, for me at least, I try not to just be motivated by like the things that I want. I like to, for me, like the better I'm working towards is like a better character, a better like habits, better self-discipline. Because, you know, I have people that I know that like have nice things, nice house, but it's like they are in bad shape. Like they have different like sugar addictions, or like they are trying to lose 10 pounds and they can't lose 10 pounds for years, and other things like that. So for me, it's like I would rather kind of be motivated by the person I want to be, or the habits I want to have, and kind of think of that as a day-to-day versus, you know, I want this nice house, so I need to work for this, because in the future, like 10 years from now, it might be a possibility, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather just work towards, you know, having money that's put away every day, or like working towards making more than I spend every day, or something like that, to kind of work towards that snowball positive habit.
I want
versus,
to touch on yours. Like, even though you said, and hear me out, even though you said you don't want to focus on the big house that could be like could be 10 years from now, you focusing on you being better person all around will indirectly bring those things. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're higher performing, better person all around, cranking out shit, being your best, the money will come, you know, because you're that much better of a person. So I think like focusing on you first for anybody is probably number one, or it should be probably, you know, just like you said. And then the other things will come.
And I think that that's a good point too. Like, when you start to have any sort of goal or thing that you want to do, is when you can write that down and kind of just bring it out of your mind onto paper, and kind of have that visual of something to look at. It makes it a lot easier to then break it down into like, okay, well, what are the steps I need to get here? And then of these steps, like, what are the things I can kind of start now that will lead to something else too? So I would say, like, when it comes to either like business stuff or fitness stuff, or like if you want to, I don't know, learn more about something or be better at something like that too, just having the like, I don't know, like if you want to get out of debt or something like that, like what are the principles that you would need to be able to kind of work towards that? And then you can kind of break down those steps into like, okay, on a monthly basis, I need to make sure this happens. So that way, on a weekly basis, I need to make sure I do this at least 5 days of the week, or something like that too.
Yeah.
So
What about you, Brian?
So how I feel about it is similar to Griffin. Like, I don't have like a certain amount of money, house, or like a certain objective thing that I want to reach as like a specific goal. But it's definitely like constant improvement is like what I have in my mind. So I think, like you said, like it's a mix of both. I think my key cornerstone of like self-motivation is like solely based on like where I want to be long term in life, of like, you know, I think it's more of like a feeling and fulfillment or position, like, you know, either owning a company or being, you know, this flexible, having a more general sense of financial freedom rather than a specific number value or anything like that. But I thought it was an interesting question because I'm definitely more in the short term motivated by like negative motives. Like I think I really feed off like people doubting or like little comments or people talking behind like my back. Like I really feed off that. Like especially like I know during like my show, I just was thinking of like a lot of people are probably betting on me not to finish the show or not to place well or not to get lean enough or these other certain things that kind of just drive me to like work harder. And I think it's not necessarily as much of a like stick it to them because what I want to do is be so successful that it speaks for itself. Like I don't have to hit up the people from high school and say, look at you at your stupid corporate job. Look at me. I don't want to have to do that. I want the success to speak for itself.
Or label yourself as something.
Or label myself as something I'm not. And it's not like that. It's not like sticking it to someone gives me a sense of fulfillment, but it more gives me a sense of you were right doing whatever you were doing as they laughed or they ignored you or whatever it is. Like I think and I don't, like I said, I don't think it's my key source it's definitely not my key source of happiness or fulfillment, but it kind of is a nice driving force, especially in the short term to kind of kickstart me when I'm being a little lazy, knowing that someone out there, I know we talked about like, even if it's not a physical person, but just telling yourself, someone out there is working harder than you right now, step up to the plate,
I would say
for me.
Somewhat counter to that, like I don't really like having any sort of thought to like motivate me of like, oh, so and so is like judging me or thinks negatively of me, because I feel like then they live in my head rent free. It's nagging at me and it's upsetting me, but they probably don't think about that too. So I kind of like to, like, if for example, like a lot of people do things for the haters, and I kind of feel like that just doesn't really drive me, because like if you win the show, to get back at the haters, like what's going to motivate you after that?
It's a fine line. It's definitely a fine line to where it's like if you're doing it just to stick it to them or just to prove
like
someone wrong, an image, yeah. It's like, you're not doing it for your own happiness and you're not going to feel like fulfilled after that. But I don't know, just like for me, I know I just get more fired up. I get something more under me, like I said, in the short term, just on like days I'm a little bit slow to kind of do that. But it's like I said,
that's the thing I was going to say too, is like a lot of people, especially around here, sometimes I see on Instagram it seems like they're doing pretty well, like things are going in the right direction for their business, and they're still talking about like, while you're talking, I'm out here working, or like, like they don't want to see you win, or like keep your circle close because like there are snakes and stuff out there, and it's good to be cognizant of that. But on the other hand, like I would rather feel like I'm doing things for people that love and support me, and like have a good circle of people that motivate and build me up, versus just always thinking about like the negative or the people that don't like you, or that one comment that got under your skin or something like that, versus the 100 positive comments and stuff too. And on the same note, like you were saying too, is like the potential. A lot of times I feel like too, I almost think like, we're only given so much time, so like why not just try to maximize that as best you can in terms of be in the best shape you can be and eat the best you can be, and kind of like, I don't know, if you had a week to live, like would you be happy with what you did this past week, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And so what used to always motivate me, and I kind of stepped away from that a little bit the past few years, but like is, especially when I first started out with fitness, is I always would think like in an alternate reality, like there's another me. Every meal is perfect. Every lift is like calculated and perfect, and like he's getting in the best shape, and everyone thinks he's a fake natty, and like if I was to align with that, like that could be me too, sort of thing. But now it's just like, like I'd rather just do it because I enjoy it and not feel like I'm measuring up to this impossible standard.
I believe it, and I agree. I agree with both. I think that a lot of people getting back to like what, I don't know, just it stuck in my head when you said it, was like people that say, oh, keep your circles close, or watch out for snakes and this and that. I think a lot of people that over what do you say that, like over, just they say that a lot, whatever. I'm fucking lost at words.
Toxic people.
Toxic, I guess. I don't know. I feel like kind of half retarded. Alex Jones.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of retarded.
But I'm very simple guy, so I don't have big words in my head right now. But for whatever I'm trying to say, but if they say that shit a lot, deep down I feel like people that do say that is because they're insecure because that's the way they deep down act, or they know that they're like fake. And like, I don't know, when I think of most people, I do see people out there that are bad, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch out for them. I probably won't associate with them. I'm not gonna say fuck you, but unless you do something to me. But like, I just try not to associate with people that I don't think that are good deep down. But I feel like if you're a good person, like, you shouldn't have to be like worrying about bad people coming around you.
That's kind of what I mean. Like, I feel like I want to ignore the I don't know. Like I said, like for me, like I think you're 100% right. Like, you don't want them to like live in your head like rent free. You don't want to like absorb all that and make like your goal just to prove these like certain people wrong. And I think, where am I going with this? I think it's good to kind of use that as a little bit of like fuel, but like you said, like let your work, let your positive energy, your support kind of speak for itself, you know, and kind of be the answer to whatever kind of negativity they kind of put out, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Griffin, I definitely think that hit, and it hit with me. Like, I started laughing because I relate to like treating yourself to pizza and shit like that. I have a picture. It's not on this phone. It's on my other phone over there. I could pull it up. It was one day. It was multiple days, but I finally decided to take a picture of it because this is back when I worked with Compel. I was paying my bills, but I was saving zero money. If anything, I was like at the end of the pay period when it was time to almost get my second, like my other 2-week check, I might have had like $7 in my account type shit. So I would go to Aldi, you know, the shopping center, and I would find all my quarters that were in my car, and I would go shopping with. This was like two months probably of straight just shopping with quarters. And finally, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna take a picture of it. This is the last time I'm fucking doing this. Going shopping with quarters. It's like $8 worth of quarters." And I was like, "This is where I'm at in life. What the fuck?"
There is something I feel like very valuable about getting to that point too, and then taking the picture and being like, "This is the last. This is going to happen." Because
yeah.
I've done that with other things too, and it's nice to look back at that every time when you feel like you're going to cave or weak, or like, oh well, the short term high is better than the long term like payoff sort of thing, and then you can look back at that again and say, okay, never again.
Well, it's funny because I feel like the way I word the question, y'all are one way. For example, I feel like that is more fear of failure, so kind of more fear of negativity. But then in the other way, like as far as like what drives you motivational wise, you go for more positive stuff. But it's kind of like, I mean, like we said, we're all kind of on the both way.
Yeah.
But it's funny how you word it or how you think about it. You might favor one over the other.
Yeah, deep down though, I think it's the negative.
Yeah.
Because I think of shit like that. I'm like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'd rather just be able to like, not to say that I'm ready to settle for just being able to pay my bills, but I'd rather me be like, just, I don't know. I would rather be doing anything besides going back to being like barely paying my shit, you know?
You want to have options. You don't want to feel like you're doing what you're doing because that's all you can do.
Exactly.
Sort of thing.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. But was that pretty much what you had for the day?
I got another question.
Yeah, drop it, dude. We got it.
All right. All right. This is more for you directly, Austin. But where would you like to see Gymflo in 3 to 5 years?
And I feel like I've been asked this.
You can go realistically.
Okay, realistic.
But then you can also go like, what would be like a more stretched goal? Not to put you on the spot.
No. And I've been asked this before.
I'm sure.
And it's like, it sucks because in getting back to like, I guess the fear of not being where I want to be, like.
Yeah, because what you've been, the brand started 5 years ago basically.
Yes, and I will say, 5 years ago we did not have goals of trying to make it bigger than what it was back then. Mm-hmm. It was literally just to pretty much supply our own product, like to pay for our own shit, us make our own shit, save money, and just go to the gym. That was a point in my life where I was still in school to be a firefighter. I was a paramedic, got my paramedics degree, and tried to apply for like 3 to 5 years of getting into fire departments, but my driving record sort of held me back from getting into a lot of departments. I actually got a job offer down in Newport News like 3 years ago. Almost would have changed my whole direction in life because I would have been working for the government down there with the city, and I would have shaved my beard. I had a beard even longer than this when I did the process, and they were like, they gave me the job offer, I signed it, and they were like, hey, your training starts 2 weeks from now, you're going to need to shave that beard. So I went home that day to go put in my 2 weeks notice to my other job, Compel at the time, and I was about to shave I told Sarah, I was like, yo, I'm shaving buzzing it off tonight. Might as well get ready and get used to it. And I got a call like 6 hours later. They were like, hey, one of your certifications had expired. I had like 5 or 6 different certifications for this. One of them expired. Hey, we can't give you the job at the moment because we don't have time to recertify you and get you on the streets when we want you to. So very sorry. I was like, fuck. Yeah, it was a long process I went through to get hired. There was like a 6-month process. But anyways, that's what my goals were back then. So Gymflo back then was truly just to like make our own shit in our apartment, like we were by hand, and just like making enough just to supply our own supply, you know. But now that we realized how we can make products and make them our own, still make them the best in our possible way, I don't know. It definitely seems like I'm able to do more with this and actually be a brand that stands out for integrity and really dosing our products the way they should be and the way we would want them to be for the results we want, you know? So over the years, I'd say we probably started taking it quote unquote seriously, like within the past 2 years, 2.5 years maybe.
Yeah, which kind of makes me excited to like see kind of where it can go and where it can take off. Because like you said, I think it has such like true grassroots kind of humble beginnings to where like if you can really establish that story and express that to people along with the great valuable products, it's like I think it's set up for success if the work is put in and the time allows for it, you know what I mean?
Yes. And I just realized, you know, especially, you know, how far we've gone and how much longer it's going to take, you know, I'm okay with that just because I know that we're doing what feels right. We're doing what is right. And I don't know, we're just doing our best to be our best. I know that sounds weird when I say it, but like that's the way I feel. It's like every time we try and create something new, we're leveling it up, making sure it is the best possible version of what we can create at the moment, you know. But in 3 years, I would definitely see myself doing this full time. Hopefully having 1 to 2 employees because that means growth and having more opportunities to give responsibilities to other people. And that is one like dead serious like main goal, like my macro goal is for me to fully rely on this full time and it needing my attention full time. And also within that same goal, having 1 to 2 employees because those 1 to 2 employees are going to help exponentially grow other areas of it, whether it be marketing or creative design or like, you know, doing video or, you know, covering social media, like things that I'm not that great at. I can get by, I can post, you know, I can do piddly shit, but like people that are really like, they can focus on that 100% and really scale like businesses do with social media and video.
I think it's the hard thing for, I don't know, with the brief kind of business that we've done with like Airable and like other businesses I've, you know, worked with or am aware of, it's like, it's kind of hard, like you said, to be like the one-man band with everything, and you got to understand that you're not going to be able to maximize or specialize in every little aspect of business. And I think, especially like with me, I know I was telling Griffin this the other day, like I'm a big micromanager to where like it's hard for me to give someone else a project that I want it to be done a certain way, and I almost can't trust someone to get it done the exact way I want it to. Mm-hmm. And so it takes a lot of trust to give that off, to not try to micromanage or watch them, but just trust that person to get it done and get it done how it should be. And so I feel like, especially with a company like, you know, to give off marketing or to let someone else's hands come in on your baby, you know, is hard to let happen.
For sure. And I don't know, I feel like both of y'all kind of get the vibe of what we are about and stuff, and that's, you know, that's what I would hope, you know, if I was to be like, hey, Griffin, can you shoot this video for me or take these pictures? You know, not that I wouldn't care how it's done, but I just know Griffin has been around us long enough. He's been with us, and now you've been around for quite some time. Like, I feel like if I was to be like, hey, can you help me out with this or help me out with that, I would, maybe I'm just a little bit more laid back, but I would be okay with be like, all right, well, however it turns out is how it's going to turn out, and I'm sure it's going to be close to, you know, if not close, probably what we're looking for, because I don't want you to ruin your creative ideas to try and mesh. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain it, but I want you to be free and, I guess, create something in your own way so it is
unique. You don't want to hinder their creativity.
Yeah, I want it to be unique to you or to whomever, and as long as it follows within a branding, like it has like bumpers, you know, I don't care how it really turns out. I think that's what makes it that much more unique, is letting whoever have like full reign on whatever or however it turns out, you know.
True. And that's the thing I would say too, is like especially with y'all's products, your design guy is just, it's really cool to see like that you can kind of just pan off your ideas of kind of what you want the feel to be, the look to be, sort of thing like that, and then be kind of blown away with that it's almost better than maybe what you had originally thought it would be too.
Yeah.
And then that, I feel like, especially too, after seeing like the first, because I feel like he kind of stepped up his game with, and I don't know if he was on for the other tubs, but like with the Fever, with Pango, and then kind of seeing like, whoa, this, like the little minor details were things that I had never thought of like over the logo, the texture in the background, other things like that, to where even now with the new Green Monster or Walk the Lime, like now with the textures and kind of the matte versus reflective stuff like that, it's really cool to kind of just see, you might have had this vision of what you wanted it to be, but maybe this is a little bit of a step outside that vision, but it opens up even more doors for creativity.
Yes. Yeah, because we were talking about that yesterday, and I feel like I asked him this morning because, not to, I didn't want to act like, as soon as I come on the board, everything's being sweet. But I feel like just in the year that I've been apart.
All right, Dick, calm it down. I'm just messing.
Yeah, where's my money? But I feel like ever since I've come on aboard, but what I'm saying is, ever since in the past year,
yes,
everything I think has stepped up as far as like formulations, as far as marketing, promotions, taking things seriously, the party in the gyms, the labels being better, thinking of more creative products, like taking everything more seriously. You've gotten closer and closer to making this like your primary goal or primary job is what I'm saying. Yeah. And I think, I was asking him like this morning, like, has it always been slowly leveling up, or has there been some kind of acceleration in the past like year and a half, 2 years?
And I said,
it's been dead ever since.
Yeah, ever since you came around.
I said after the first nut bash, I felt like things really took off. Yeah. Because especially too, like not only with kind of narrowing your vision, but I feel like kind of trimming the fat a little bit of, a lot of things that had happened that were somewhat of learning lessons for that first nut bash where the product didn't come through, or other things like that, or things like Overcome where, it didn't really sell like things were anticipated to where now I feel like, not necessarily like you cut your losses, but like you have much more of an idea of going forward, but then can like really floor the gas going forward.
It's like the lessons have been learned, and now you're
we did a lot of tasting, a fuck ton of tasting, and I guess in a way to say that is like we tried this, tried that, and realized that really doesn't work that well, or people don't really react to that. We still don't truly know. We just we know what's warmer and what's cold. We know, if we go this direction, it's going to get warmer and warmer.
Just pissing in the dark.
Yeah, dead serious. Just writing our name, dude, cursive. But speaking of our labels, our design guy, he's been with us since day one. We did our original labels and whatever. And back then, I guess we conclusively, me, Jake, and Joe, we were like, all right, we want everything to look uniform. Of course, colors can be different color schemes for different flavors. But after the split up, and Jake and I, we did have a long talk about like revamping our labels and doing limited runs per se, which we still want to, but we haven't really kicked off our limited runs or anything like that. And I don't know if we will. We'll see. But we wanted to make sure every label was unique as fuck, And I don't think a lot of brands are out there doing that. A lot of brands, all their labels, which I understand branding. Yes, things should look uniform. But
that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I think a lot of brands get washed away by other brands when they aren't being creative or having unique textures or tastes to different labels. It's just like kind of
well, we talked about it. It's like when we grab like the Walk the Lime, sponsored by Gymflo. Mm-hmm. When we grabbed this, like not only like he talked about, I think while I was gone, but like the metallic kind of like feel to it and all like the little textures, but also like we spoke about this off camera as like the feeling and experience you have opening off a new tub, holding the label. That's like almost half the experience you get of the product itself. Yep. Like it pairs together with it to where when you grab this off the shelf or in your closet or wherever it is, you get excited to take it because of the look, the experience that comes with it. Because you're not just building the effect of the workout or the impact of the workout, but you're building an experience with a product. And the experience starts with the label. It starts with, the feel in the hand. It starts with all of that. So like I know pre-workouts that I've taken that have been pretty kick-ass, but sometimes like if the label's meh, it kind of tones down or hampers like the total experience.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as like.
Yeah, but sometimes when I have a product that the label looks kick-ass and the product's just meh, but it kind of looks kick-ass, maybe it's got a popular name or person behind it, it almost makes me feel like more excited to take it. But when in reality the product ain't shit. So having a label that matches the effect that you're getting, I think it makes all the difference, and I'm glad to see everything go in the right direction with that.
Yeah, and that was part of the talk with me and Jake. And I'm sure we've mentioned it when, we might have brought it up to you as well a little bit, and whoever else was around is just like, it needs to be a whole experience, not that we were going cheap on our labels before. They were a nice metallic label, but these labels are expensive as fuck. The metallic, the foil, there's all extra fees added on to get these templates made, and just not only that, but get our designer to pay him the hours that he puts in, 40 hours to create that, or 30, however long. It's like the money adds up, and these things are expensive, but we realize that the end goal, it should be an overall experience, not just like, oh, a good product. It should be like, damn, they really took the time to make something unique and like just cool. We put effort into the label. As you can see, it's not just like, oh, all or nothing, pre-workout, take the shit. It's like, man, all the animation, I don't know. To me, it's what I would like to take. It's something cool, unique. And I don't know, when I compare it to other brands, not to say that other brands aren't doing good things, but it's like, I don't know, I think they slack either in one area or the other, and they don't go all in.
Well, and I think a lot of times, too, when people start something like that, you almost want to compare everything to the mainstream, where it's hard to kind of like delve out your own uniqueness. And I think that that's something that's been cool that you guys have done, is kind of stuck with that authenticity and uniqueness and not always tried to be kind of like, oh, well, let's make our stuff look like this. Let's make our stuff similar to this or other things like that, just to be able to kind of not mainstream it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm sure, too, especially with this kind of stuff, it's been a learning lesson, too, because I'm sure it's hard to think of almost like the finer, more minute things that come with kind of a unique product, to where like the formula is everything, but then the certain finer elements of the taste or the size of the bottle, like I like these new bottles because I don't have to like kind of claw in with the scoop to get it out at the very bottom, like some of the older tubs or other things like that, to where it really does make it like a nice, the consistency has definitely improved, like the sweetness of it or other things like that. It's not just like a more sucralose-y like aftertaste or other things like that. So I'm sure it is like trial and error for everything, but it is hard to kind of nail down and be cognizant of those finer things.
Ever since I came along.
Yeah, your check's in the mail, dude.
Yeah.
Your royalties.
the stimulus check. Yeah.
But I definitely, it's definitely a long, thinking about it, it's been 5 years. Mm-hmm. We thought our shit was awesome back in the day, which it was good for what we knew, but we're always learning, always new things coming out, new ingredients, new flavoring options, new routes to make things, and mainly just feedback, like the evolution of All or Nothing X, the DMHA formula, which we still have a good few amount of units left, like hearing feedback about that and how I wanted to create the new formula is like, people were saying, oh, well, I'd like to see a little bit more pump aspect to it, or I'd like to, I'm sure pump was one thing that I remember people saying. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to knock this out the motherfucking park, adding a hell of a lot of glycerol or glycer pump and some salt, and trying to really maximize pump and hydration with that. And I don't know, I think it's an all around complete pre-workout. Like, I haven't really, since it's released, I don't want to say like our shit is like the perfect, but in my eyes it is. It's like I haven't gotten any bad feedback besides a little flavor mishap on the Green Monster, but other than that, it's like performance wise I haven't like hit or miss on the DMHA formula. I'd be like, oh, it's not enough this or too much of that, but everybody's in love with this new formula. It's cool how we've like progressively gotten a little bit smarter about dialing in certain things and just making deep down, it's just at the end of the day making sure you have an awesome fucking product. The label can be, the label should be awesome, which it is, but it's like you can't have one without the other. If you don't have a good fucking product, you don't have a business. It has to you won't have returning customers, you won't have word of mouth. So that's the one thing we wanted to focus on. And then obviously the cherry on top is all the other unique things that we can do to add onto the label, the look, the feel, and obviously the experience with customer service too. So it's a whole shebang. But we're still learning. I mean, I'm just a
Ready
Just
for
a Joe
another
Schmo.
question?
Yeah,
Something
bring it
a little
on.
more relaxed. This is the last
Yeah.
one I have, so people who are hating these questions can fuck right off.
they're good.
What are your dream flavors of pre-workouts / protein? So I'll cover ours real quick. I'll let you speak for yours. But we were talking about the protein this morning, and then we can kind of expand on pre-workout just to get the wheels turning. So I said for like protein, like a turtle flavor or like mud or like a what's the thing called?
What?
You've never had
You ever had
turtle?
turtle?
It's like
or-
chocolate caramel
goddamn,
nuts.
what's the other?
Turtle Man.
Yeah, or what's the not Muddy Road, not Rocky Road
Rocky-
either.
oh.
No, not Rocky Road. Mud Tracks.
Moose
Moose
tracks.
Tracks
I've
ice
heard of
cream.
that.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of like caramel or like some chocolate and like peanut butter, like Reese's and that like so that kind of like that genre of like peanut butter and chocolate and like all that kind of mixed in. I feel like that would bang pretty solid in a protein.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It's getting me hungry now
And,
thinking about it.
I would say dream flavor for pre-workout. Like I would love like a vibrant, slightly not sour but slightly tart strawberry. I just feel like I love strawberry flavors of things, especially when it's like super juicy and other things like that.
Thinking
I feel
about
like
that,
would
I've
be good.
never seen a strawberry.
Dry
Me neither.
scoop or mixed.
It's
And
always
especially
strawberry
like
kiwi.
ice cold mixed too. I just feel like would be a nice. I don't know.
So are you thinking like candy strawberry or like strawberry, like protein strawberry, like
No, not like that. Almost like
a candy-ish?
Yeah, I would say, and I haven't really had this in too many flavors, but like, I don't know. Did you ever used to chew that bubble gum that was, it had like the duck with the nose ring?
Oh,
Bubble Yum.
Bubble Yum, yeah, Bubble
They
Yum.
had
I
a
don't think I
strawberry
have.
flavor that I used to love because like the first few chews, it was like so almost like mouth-wateringly intense flavor, and it simmered down after a little bit, but I just remember too, like just every time I would unwrap that, it was such
What would you think of
juicy
a
kind of.
because you had the cherry one of the demo day that I've had, and
Yeah.
I said how that had like a creamy kind of lighter sweet taste. What if that was like a strawberry flavor? Do you like that kind of texture? Because I feel like I would enjoy like that kind of lighter. I still
I
need to
like
give you a
it.
sample to try
Almost
the
like
I'd love
taste.
to try it, for
strawberries
real.
and cream.
Yeah.
I like it, but I feel like there
Want
are a
some
few
tart?
flavors that I feel like you can make like over the top, kind of exaggerate the flavor a little bit, and it's really good.
I like the
I'm-
idea of strawberry though, because I feel like it's not.
I haven't seen
not
that.
solely. It's
I
always
don't
kiwi,
think.
strawberry. Kiwi,
Yeah, I don't like a lot of strawberry mixed stuff.
I don't
I
either.
feel like it kind of
Yeah.
takes away. And then for protein, I would love like a butter pecan or a Nutty Buddy ice cream cone sort of flavor where it's got the chocolate tip of the waffle cone at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like he likes the chocolate tip.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100% on the waffle cone idea. Jake and I had talked about having fuck. I guess
Swirl.
they're
You
called
want
like
a swirl,
so like almost like a caramel swirl, like a froyo swirl, vanilla chocolate type deal with maybe that either just being that itself or adding in excipients or what are like little chunks of waffle cone in there, to have some crunch to it. Or you could chew it, or you could probably swallow it.
choke
Something
on
small.
it.
Could choke on it. Don't know, but yeah, I think something like that. I don't know. I just don't. If we create a protein, which may be some time because I've reached out to a few manufacturers, and it's just not in the cards for us right now with at least what our goals are. I don't want to just come out with basic chocolate, basic vanilla. I want to have unique flavors, shit that like I wouldn't be able to get anywhere else for real. Like, especially with a protein, it's all about flavor right there. It's like typically like nobody just wants a shit protein.
And unless they knock it out of the park, I feel like after you buy the tub of
not
protein,
getting it
then
again.
it's like, all right, I guess I gotta finish this. But there's never been really any that I feel like, man, I love this protein.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a protein yet, really, that I've like been upset when I finish it.
Yeah.
Like the America Labs one I just bought, the double stuffed, has been quite a disappointment. Like it's supposed to be like Oreo, and it's okay. Like I think it's grown on me a little bit, but and maybe it's because it's hard to make like a thicker texture taste in water. But
How do y'all feel about the ones with solids in it?
well, that's what this one has. Little bits of Oreo.
Yeah.
I've had like even like the German chocolate when I gave you, I think had little bits. Of,
It did.
The
That was good.
the sixth
That was
one.
good.
That one was pretty good. It was like a Dutch chocolate. Yeah.
And reason being, and I think that I don't know about America Labs and their protein. I'd have to look at the label, but the way you can get that thick, rich, creamy taste or texture you're looking for is you need something that's like either a blend or just a concentrate, like a protein.
It's got to be
concentrate.
a blend. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not hydroxylate. If it's isolate, it's going to be thinner. It's going to be
Thin
not
as
as
hell,
like
yeah.
it's not going to have that creamy
That's
texture.
what I noticed. Like with Synthesix, because that's the best protein, at least like for price I can get.
Yeah.
That I've had from BSN, and like I noticed like when I got their isolate, it wasn't crap. Granted, I just got chocolate, so it's kind of really hard to mess up chocolate. But when I've gotten their like full, like you said, like a blend where it has different types of proteins, isolates and concentrates and all that stuff. It's a lot better tasting, a lot fuller tasting, even in water. And I think that's also contributed to like the carbohydrates and fat in it,
Yep.
because it's usually a more dense scoop. So it's like 200 calories instead of like a 100 calorie isolate. And it again, like it has like 6 grams of fat, 22 like carb. So it's like it's not for everyone, especially if you're on a lower calorie diet. But it's gonna taste way better.
And I don't want to create. So this is for me, like thinking, and this is me thinking like of a good product for market and worrying about how to market it. If we were to create a protein, and when we do, at least our first couple, I'm not going to worry about people who are dieting. If you're dieting, you should be eating, if you're like competition dieting, you should be eating food. Fuck like a protein shake, whatever. That's if you need extra calories or you're trying to bridge the gap in between your meals because you just need to get calories in. So I would want to focus on something that would be a little bit higher calorie, not like a mass gainer, but not worrying if it has concentrate in it, because concentrate typically adds a little bit of fat, a little bit of carbs to it. You can do a blend where it's some isolate, some concentrate, so you aren't crushing the calories. So maybe it's 160, 180 calories, but it still has good flavor, and you aren't like you aren't sacrificing flavor for calories per se, and you're able to have a little bit more wiggle room with flavoring and whatnot. So,
what would be your dream pre-workout flavor?
Dream pre-workout flavor. For some reason, I don't know why all of a sudden, I kind of went like an orange creamsicle type deal. Something sweet. But at the same time, I don't know how that would react with working out, though.
I haven't had a bad orange pre-workout. I think I had, I was telling him, the product itself sucked. Nitroflex by GAT. I didn't feel it at all. But the orange flavor was really good. I feel like that might be the only direct orange flavor I've had. But one I was telling him about the other day is just typical like Gatorade flavors. Like there's one Tiger Gatorade. We looked it up. It's called Quiet Storm. It's their purple one.
Purple's good.
That just takes me back a little bit, and I feel like I'd love that in a BCA or a pre-workout. And then also like the Glacier Freeze, like the light blue Gatorade's really good.
Yeah, that is
Or
good.
it's just the orange thing. The orange Gatorade hits perfect too.
I do feel like an orange creamsicle would be good, and I was excited for the rain when they came out with that one, but I wish it was more vanilla-ish, creamy.
Yeah, they didn't hit it out the park.
Yeah. But with protein, if you made your own signature, would you kind of try to just make it special with the flavors, or would it be certain things that you'd add to the formula that you feel like would differentiate it? Because one thing I noticed when I last looked at something, I think I told you this, that the Alani did, was that it was a concentrate to make it creamier, but they also put things like lactase in it to digest the enzyme better, or I think they put higher leucine or other things like that. That it's cool to kind of see those little intricacies that they kind of are mindful of, that I feel like you would be very attentive to too.
I think typically, and I've seen it besides Alani Nu, I haven't looked at theirs, but I do see other proteins that do have digestible enzymes and stuff like that that help with digestion and absorption. I definitely want to add something like that, because I think that would not only help you absorb that, but maybe some foods that you're eating shortly after that, or just overall gut health. But I wouldn't know off the top of my head right now what I would probably add. But yeah, I would definitely just like everything else that we've been doing, I'd want to definitely dive in deep and be like, all right, what aspects could we add to this that, would help either increase its performance, output, or, digestibility, not just being like, all right, we got a good flavor, fuck it, roll it, I definitely want to be all around covered for sure. And I don't know what off the top of my head I would look at though. Once I got there, I'd definitely start researching a little bit, see what I could add. But yeah. But I guess that would be my flavor for pre-workout, orange creamsicle. I'm sure I could think of some more. I think grape, now that you said that, grape. We used to have
We're
a
talking
fucking
about grape this
banger grape. Back when we used to make it by hand. Obviously, these are flavorings that you'd buy from Walmart to flavor your water that we'd flavor our shit with. But this grape that we had was like knockout grape, literally grape drink that you'd make back when you were a kid. I would call it grape drink, probably. DRANK. Drink. Like, it was bomb. Sugar-free. But anyways, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. Definitely.
You had some questions?
Yeah, what you
I
got?
thought you had some.
Let them rip, dude.
Yeah, if I had any, it kind of slipped my mind now.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I didn't want to put you on the spot.
I should write them down.
Oh, I didn't know you had them in your head. I thought you had them in your
No.
head. Because last time you had a full list, remember?
I did when we had the one with Jake. I did write out
you
a
had a
bunch,
huge
but
list.
Yeah.
I like sometimes just going off the cuff, off the goop.
Well, I guess as far as like updates go, hopefully, maybe we'll have a shirt release this week. It's our Strength Through Struggle shirt that we got done and printed last week. Been trying to take some pictures. Griffin helped out a lot with that, and a little video hopefully here soon that we can sneak peek it with, and then drop it maybe Wednesday or Friday this week, and maybe have some deals with spend over X amount, get it maybe free on the site, but definitely be just an overall nice shirt. We definitely went with the tri-blend. Nice, super, like, I love these shirts. Like, it's not the next level cotton where, like I said, it gets a little stretched out. Like, this is the cotton one. And after you wear it, if you start working out a little bit, not that it doesn't fit still, but, like, it gets kind of, it's like a weird cotton stretched. And, like, it only, like, reforms a little bit after you wash it. But with this new tri-blend, like, you can work, I worked out in it the other day, and, like, it still fit perfect, hugged my shoulders, arms. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I love... Even though they're a couple bucks more per shirt, it's just I'm glad we went that way, and they're going to be a great fitting shirt. But anyways, hopefully keep your eyes peeled for that. That'll be either the day after this airs or Friday. But other than that, Overcome sample, I'm going to be talking to the manufacturer today, hopefully having some good flavors going with that.
No wood to knock on.
Yeah, I know, right? Flavors, readjustments for that, getting some samples going so we can get a little blind taste test going, and potentially maybe even a new product. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's just thoughts right now, but definitely looking good for maybe a possible two product launch here maybe during summer. So anyways, that's the updates for that. Let's get into some questions.
When
Brock,
do
you
we
go.
get the
I'll go
Gymflo
first.
armored truck?
Yeah, armored. I like
Once
that.
my YouTube channel blows up a little bit more, man,
Armored Del Sol.
that's it. Attach a wagon.
First question. How long... I picked this one because it kind of goes off what I'm sure we've all seen recently. How long would you have to start to become a cannibal? Have you seen the Alex Jones clip?
No.
Oh, God. He goes
I'll
on this
show it to
rant.
you.
Yeah, we'll show it after the podcast. But he goes on this rant about how he's like, I'll eat my neighbors. Hell yeah. I can already see them now. Like, I'll cut them up. I'll eat their ass. Like, my daughters aren't starving during this pandemic. And he goes on this rant about how he'll literally eat your ass before he lets, like, his children starve.
What about my thighs? Or not my ass? I'm just messing.
So the question is, how long would you start to become a cannibal?
So there's variables to that question. It's
There
like,
are.
is there no such thing as having a weapon to, like, hunt, or like there's nothing, there's nuclear winter, so everything's dead, and it's just like, all right.
No, okay. Put it this way. Let's say you're locked in a cellar, and you're just with, like, let's say one other person.
Yeah.
How long before you kill and eat them?
Damn. Within the week.
Within
Damn.
a week.
What
I'd
if
give
you
it a
were
month.
faced with the choice of
I'd give it a month.
be a cannibal or eat just soy?
Oh, we
What
talked
would
about
you
that,
do?
didn't we?
I think we did.
I guess I would do the soy until I went crazy. I would do the soy until I went
I would
crazy.
figure out how to cook a human medium rare, season it a little bit.
How do they use? Is that on YouTube?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I was just throwing a week out there. It depends on. I mean, I would
It's what they taste like.
I would assume within 7 days, you're probably gonna be pretty fucking hungry. You're probably gonna be a little delirious, because you haven't had food. I don't know, and it depends on if they're already kind of dying. Like if they're already kind of half dead, or are they just healthy as me, like, or in the same shape?
Sounds like Life of Pi.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's their time to go, if they're already on their last limb, they're probably not gonna make it out. But hey, dude, it's
Just let me eat you.
Yeah, would
I'll
you
start-
try
I'll
to
start at the
negotiate, or
extremities
would you
first,
just
bud.
be like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched this
I
video.
would-
Sorry for like the segue. I watched this video. It's on Netflix, so watch it if you want to. It's in a different language, so it's one of those videos you have to like let a few minutes go by because they're talking over. It's like
They're dubbing it.
Yeah, they're dubbing it. So it's like there's no subtitles. It's just their mouths moving, and it's different words the person's saying. So it's like fucked it until you can like overlook that. The movie's pretty good. It's called Platforms, and it's kind of the same scenario. There's these people locked in the same room, 2 people, for 30 days at a time. And I won't go through the whole premise, but anyways, they're locked in this room for 30 days, and minimal food is coming through, like fucking little bites here and there. And this one dude's kind of injured already, so while the other dude's sleeping, the half-injured dude's sleeping, the other dude goes over there, ties him up in his sleep, and when he wakes up, he's like, yo, man, it's been like 20-some days. I need to eat. And dude's tied up, he can't do anything, so he breaks up this knife. He's like, yo, I promise I'll start at the extremities first to like
you
keep him
want
alive.
that?
Like, yeah, that's what. And he's like, I'll save your torso for last, man, so you can live as long as possible. And so he put a what do you call it, a tourniquet around his thigh, and he started slicing away at his thigh while the dude was awake. Yes, it was fucked up, but I understand. I'd be like, yo, man, let me just get a little bite. Hold me over. I don't know. So I would say within. If I put an honest thing, so we don't hold this question up, 7 to 14 days.
Have you ever seen the movie The Road or read the book?
No.
Oh, it's got the guy who plays Aragorn in it, and basically we had some sort of nuclear holocaust sort of thing that's like everything is just this desolate ash and smog, and the movie is basically a guy and his son that are trying to get to the coast to at least have like maybe hope for fish or vegetation or other things like that.
That's what it sounds like.
Similar to that. But there's one scene in there, and I'll spoil it for you because the movie came out in like 2005 or something like that. So they find this house, and a lot of times when they go through the houses, they try to see, okay, are there cans? Is there anything here that, the people might have died or like left, but maybe left some stuff behind. And the scene is they go into the cellar of the house, and the guy like turns on his lantern, and then all of a sudden you hear this like shuffling, and he goes around the corner, and there's just a bunch of people that have been captured by whoever's living in the house, arms cut off, legs cut off, just like, and they try to like grab them while they're down there
With nubs?
Yeah, they kind of swarm. There's like 20 people down there. So they're trying to book it back up the stairs. Meanwhile, as soon as they get back up the stairs, the people that live in the house have just come in the back door. And so they already know like these people will capture and keep us down there. And so they're trying to be quiet, and eventually they wind up being discovered. But that always has kind of like stuck in my mind of, I think I'd rather just look for canned peaches than like try to overpower and like butcher somebody else.
Yeah, definitely.
But on the other hand, like if that was the only option, I'd probably at least try to like give it 2 months or something like that.
I'd go for the calf. The calf reminds me more of a drumstick, like chicken, more than anything. So I'd probably start there. That's actually another question when I was looking through these, picking of like what body part would you eat. God damn it, I hope I didn't pick that in one of these later questions. I don't think I did. God, I think I did. All right. Well,
redraw.
I'll stop then, but yeah, one of you go.
Okay.
Okay. If you had to pick one person to be the ambassador for the human race to meet aliens, who would it be?
I think
Alex Jones.
Yeah.
I
think The Rock. The Rock, I feel like just embodies like not what a perfect human being is, but at least he's got that shiny smile. He's jacked. He's tan. Speaks well.
Not
Athletic.
Greta?
Huh? Not Greta? No. Greta.
I would probably maybe say Arnold. Sometimes I disagree with some of Arnold's things.
I was going to say, Arnold's become more
I feel like
Libby
he's so
recently.
charismatic and like, oh yeah, that is a good point with the whole Game Changers thing.
Yeah.
So maybe
he's
not.
become soy. He's become vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like Golden Era Arnold.
Yeah,
maybe,
Golden
like,
Era Arnold, yeah.
built himself up from nothing, like champion at a lot of things,
The
became an
Terminator.
actor with a speech impediment, sort of thing like that. I just feel like he would be a good, and the aliens would say, this is what a human looks like? Whoa, like we'd better steer clear. We better not want any conflict with them. And we would show them Predator as well.
Yeah. This is what happened last time y'all came, yeah.
Come on, do it! Kill me. I think I'd probably go with The Rock, too. Because deep down, literally, it was the first person that popped in my head. Deep down, I was like, oh, The Rock. Because, like you were saying, well-spoken, got a nice stature, like, he's confident, and I think he's, like, a good example of, like, not an alpha, per se, but just all-around, like, the man, the man's
like an
man.
all-around dude, yeah.
And he has a clear head, it seems like. It's not, like, one way or the other. Very understanding. And, yeah, I think he'd be a nice guy to meet, too. I think deep down just because hopefully I'd run into him somehow. But, yeah, I think
do you ever feel like, I know a guy who works for the radio that goes to Gold's, and The Rock replied back at him, kind of like sit your ass down sort of thing, because he posted pictures of, like, Jumanji, the Earthquake one, like the other movies that The Rock has done, and he's like, am I taking crazy pills, or is The Rock playing the same character in each movie? Because each movie he's like sweaty, like wearing a gray t-shirt, some sort of apocalypse jungle in the background, and The Rock was like, well, in one movie I play like a war veteran with PTSD, in the other movie I play like someone struggling with being bullied as a child. Like, sit your ass down, jabroni.
I think he's very good at that, and he's done well sticking.
It doesn't matter what your name is. Yeah.
But like same thing with Arnold though. Like Arnold's played the same type of role, a hero to save the day, or some type of alpha, like
Mr. Freeze.
You know who the worst actor is that played the same character? Kevin Hart. He pisses me off in movies.
Oh yeah, no.
He's just short, and he makes so many. And they write in so many jokes about him being short that it's not really that funny.
He's overboard. It's like over.
It's like we get it. He's small and he's fighting people.
And he's loud. Like it's just
yeah.
like noise. That's what it is, kind of. Yeah. Especially with the last Jumanji. It's just like, well, not even that, but like the first Jumanji. It's just like his character was just to be like the loud, annoying, like always complaining type thing. I don't know. It's like, which it is funny at first, but it's like, oh, I know what I'm going to expect when I go to see a Kevin Hart movie. But yeah, I agree with you on the Rock thing. Though.
Next question.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Is that the same?
No. Oh. Poll the internet. Would you rather everyone be naked all the time or clothed all the time?
I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, because I walked around the river.
Of course you were.
And I was like, if we were all naked, would people be motivated to keep themselves in better shape and like better
That's
groomed?
where I was going with picking this question.
So I would say naked all the time. Everyone can be aesthetic.
I want naked all the time because I feel like that way you get a better perception of what people really look like and how, like you said, how people are in shape. Because sometimes you might think so-and-so has a nice body, but then it's like, oh, when they're out of the gym shorts or out of their, like,
it lets loose.
When she takes off the waist trainer.
Yeah, when she takes off the sweet sweat, Yeah. But then you're like, and plus, I feel like, then it kind of neutralizes the playing field. It's kind of like if you made everyone wear, like, a certain uniform at school, then you kind of really see, okay, who really looks better overall? Because sometimes nice clothes make up for some things. So I feel like, we would all look a little more alpha and make up for maybe if we don't have the chiseled Henry Cavill kind of like jaw and facial structure, at least you compare us to these other jabronis that are drinking beer with their boys on Saturday night, college games, and, they're like, okay, look at those nice quads. Or look at, whatever's going on.
You'd be like, oh, that's why the guy's got a big-ass ego and he's very loud.
Yeah, that's
right,
true.
That's the little Shimpy D.
You would see that. But I feel like, yeah.
It's just cold in here.
It's cold. Yeah. There would be
D.
some of that, too. Some roast beef lips, and you might see some things you don't want to see, but you know what? At least it's all out there, and I feel like there'd be less insecurity because you're like, I just gotta deal with it. There's no hiding it.
All right, let's talk about that. Now that you mentioned it, not little dicks, but roast beef lips. All right, so in high school, there was this one chick. I could probably say her name because nobody probably listens to this that I went to high school with. But she was a grade below me, I think, or 2 grades below me. But everybody, like, one dude slept with her, dated her, whatever, and ruined, like, went around slandering that she had like roast beef lips. Now I didn't get to see a picture or a video. This was back before video, so a picture of it or them. but they were just blowing it out of proportions. How it's crazy down there. I was like,
It's like wings.
I was like, I wonder what, like, is it that crazy, or is this the dude? Is it the dude's first time seeing one ever? And he's like, yo, that's crazy looking. So I always wondered, thinking back, but would you feel like, would you be grossed out seeing? I guess it might help any girls, females. Probably no females watching this besides Maddie. But like, would you feel gross? Legit, like, would you be like, oh, fuck, that's gross? Like, I don't know what would be the same relationship to a guy being like, oh, I guess maybe foreskin. I don't know, but like,
It's a bit. Well, no, it's similar in that way. I've seen.
like, would you be like, ugh, fuck that?
In my experience,
Like, what's too much?
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, in a general sense, yeah. If you got labia hanging out a little bit more than usual, it's not super tucked in. It's like you can't control that. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm not gonna like flip out, act like it's the worst thing ever. And it's not like there's one dude I used to hang out with that used to say it's still pink on the inside. I'm not quite that. I'm not quite everything goes. But at the same point, like you said, like there you can't control it. It's like I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal.
I don't think
but
it'd make it a big
I
deal.
will say that if you're genetically blessed to have things more tucked in, clean cut, whatever it is, then that's probably more preferable. But like you said, like it's you can't really control it.
Yeah.
But some people do got it. I guess hanging out.
I watched I don't know if you've ever seen it's like on TLC, it's called Botched or whatever. It's like botched plastic surgeries. And there's one chick, she had like roast beef going on or whatever. I don't know what the term is.
I don't know what it's. I think it's your labia.
Roast beef lips, whatever. I hate saying that.
I just
More
saw a picture.
scientific term.
The problem is, I just saw a meme. And it was an Arby's sandwich, and someone said, "Like, what does this make you think of?"
But not to say that's a bad thing, but she didn't like it herself, so she got it done, and like doctor jacked it up, like straight sliced everything off. So it was just like you couldn't even tell what was going on down there because they showed it on the TV. They showed it like unblurred. I was like, what?
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude.
That's like
I guess they forgot to blur it. Like I saw it. Dead serious.
I've seen that kind of meme before, and it's like when she's ready to settle down, and it's like the completely disheveled sandwich. So
Yeah.
Oh, beat up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't rag on anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, anyways, we haven't really hit on the question.
What is the question?
So, would you rather everyone be naked all the
Oh,
time or clothed all the
Naked
time?
for sure. Naked for sure.
I agree, naked, because I'd rather see some skin more than I'd rather just see everybody clothed up like in cloth, like straight robe.
Well,
Do
I
you
don't
feel
think
like that would desensitize you too, to where like getting down to business would just be like,
Yeah, it wouldn't be as
all
fun.
right, like
Because there is a big anticipation of like, oh man, I can't wait till she pulls her shirt off or pulls her pants. I was like, oh
when
my
you see
god.
ankle,
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
But that would.
When she
I mean,
takes the
you would have
hijab
to. So, sex would then eventually evolve to be like. It would that would also level up as well, or it'd have to, because like you said, it would be desensitized, which I think would happen. So things would have to level up there to like take it to the next level to be like, damn, that was wild.
well, it is kind of a weird
You would
thing
have to
to
step
think
your game
about.
up.
Like, let's say for example, bathing suit versus underwear. Like underwear has that much more like sexual connotation or kind of a arousal level than a bathing suit sometimes. But it is weird because it's like almost the same clothing amount,
Literally.
to where maybe it would be like if we were naked all the time. Situationally, it might be like you might not be desensitized. I guess that is
I think
good.
the only problem, like that, and I'm just thinking of me, like if I said, all right, let's all be naked, and I'm a part of that group, it's like, damn, I hope I don't get random boners like throughout the day, because that would be
Yeah.
the most embarrassing thing. I feel like
Yeah, you can't hide
because
that.
girls,
Can't
they don't
talk
really,
that.
they don't have like if they were naked, nothing, it wouldn't be crazy. Like nothing would really change. It wouldn't be like anything to get really embarrassed about, less roast beef. But it's like with a dick, though, it's like, oh, whether it's super cold.
They go, that's
It's
it.
like tucking your
I gotta
waist
push it
down.
out.
That's it.
Or you gotta worry about like, oh man, you pass by a group of hot chicks and you're seeing their junk, or you're just
It's
seeing
like
their
a
tits,
compass.
and it's just like, oh, And it's like, all right, it's time to leave, girls. This guy's weird.
Yeah.
Or
just
can
over
you
there smiling at
imagine
him.
too, like sitting in the gym,
Or with your
like,
boys, and then
spreading, looking through the mirror, and then all of a sudden, like she makes eye contact with you, and
Yeah,
it's like
just
you got a
slowly.
big old
Oh.
chub sitting there.
Going to bench, like lay on back and bench. It's just like, wow.
Well, actually, that reminds me of, because my dad always talks about this. There's one Seinfeld episode, and Jerry, I believe, because I never really seen the show that much, but he has some girl come over, and he's always talking about, I think, how good she looks naked or something. And he comes out of the bathroom maybe, and she's trying to open a jar, and he's like, like, maybe it's not good to be naked all the time, because she's like straining and like, I don't know.
Like,
So I
not
almost
looking
feel
sexy.
Like, let's say we're in the gym and everybody is naked all the time. If you see a girl like straining to deadlift and just like blowing it out or something like that, like it might make you just feel like, I don't know about that anymore.
You just got my junk soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because there is like, I don't know, I think the whole concept of like being able to disclothe or like unclothe is like a gift that you can give to somebody. It's like, oh, you're showing something that nobody gets, or hopefully not a lot of people get to
Or
see.
imagine going
Maybe
to
some chick showing
grandma's.
off
Get
with,
OnlyFans.
Imagine going to grandma. She bends over to take something out of the oven.
oh, gam.
And just like,
Gam.
I don't know. Maybe there wouldn't be as many benefits. To
Well,
this
definitely
as we think.
thinking now, even
Grandpa's
myself,
chilling in the
I
recliner,
would
nuts
feel
out.
bad for people that are behind me at the gym, and I'm bending down to grab
Yeah.
those 100-pound dumbbells, like to get on the bench. I'm just bent over, just
You got a pink sock.
butthole and balls. What do you call it? The goat, where it's your shit hangs down behind you, and
Yeah.
you're seeing your balls and butthole just sitting there. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, or ladies and guys. It's not a sight.
Yeah, that is a good point.
I don't know. I'm cool with. So, what do y'all think about like full nude? So, not the gym, not daily living, but like having a specific place where it's like, oh, not like a naked cult. What do they call those?
Nudist beach.
Nudist
or
beach.
anything?
Yeah, but a nudist beach, not a nudist colony, but like where you can go and that's where like people look their best is at the beach. Well, not their best, but it's not awkward times where they're like straining or doing weird shit.
Yeah.
I would be cool. I would literally probably do it myself and be like, oh, fuck it, I'll try it once. And I think it would be cool.
Yeah, I would do it too.
But
I've
think,
been trying to see, not in Richmond, but just I'd go to one around here, and it's also just like, what has this all been about? If I can't just get out onto
that's
the
true.
beach
I feel like you probably
Baywatch
know what I'm
walk
talking
it.
about. You almost get a little bit of that experience behind a bodybuilding show when they're tanning up.
Yeah.
Because bodybuilding, I didn't really realize this. I don't know why I didn't. But so for classic physique, I can just wear really small, like boxer briefs, roll them up to like a thong, basically, while they spray tan me. Bodybuilders are complete dick and balls out.
dick and balls. There's some dudes that'll put a sock around their shit.
Yeah, I've seen that. They
But,
offered that to me.
yeah.
It's like, I don't really know. That just seems weird to me. So it's like, yeah.
But yeah, and sometimes it's a chick spraying them, you know?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
all chicks spraying them. And, yeah, I don't know.
And it's like, how
No,
like...
here's the worst part. Here's the worst part, too. And then you can say it. After you're done getting sprayed, then when you're drying, they put you in this little tent with another dude with his dick out. And you're just, like,
What's
looking
up?
at each other like, what's up, man? It's, like, the most weird thing.
Well, what I'm saying is like, when they're like, all right, come on over, we're ready for you, and you drop, and it's just like...
Well, that's that.
it's not like...
It's almost would be
it's
better
not-
if it was dudes, because the women in
That's
there...
what I'm saying.
The women there, I was like... Because I had to go... I forgot that I was going to be tanned up, like, again that morning to get touched up. And so I just had, like, my shorts I was wearing for the show. And so then when I went around, like, oh, no, you can't do that in your show shorts. And I was like, oh, like, I need to go get back and get, like, the little, like, briefs I had before on. And they're like, well, you could just throw them down right here. And it's not like I'm, like, the most insecure person around. But, like, I was just looking around. I was, like, put on the spot.
No, it's on the spot, dude. I would be
on
the same
spot,
way. I'd be like, oh,
and,
shit.
and they're like, it's not a big deal. It's just, we're all here. No one's big looking. Like, you put a sock on it. I'm like, look, chick, like, you don't fucking understand. Like, and it's cold.
Yeah,
It's
oh, no,
cold.
it's usually chilly.
So, like, so, like, you're already,
Not
like,
your best
shrunken
moment.
up turtle. It's not your best moment. So, yeah, so I was like, Maddie, go get the briefs, quick. I need them. So she ran and got them for me. I threw them on, and went and got my tan finished up. But I was like, there's no way, like, in front of these.
Because they
weren't, like, attractive, so it wasn't, like, that embarrassing. They're, like, random people. I'll probably never see them again. But still, like, you just, like, dick and balls out, just, like, people just
And they
spraying
get
you
pretty
cold.
close when they're spraying your
Yeah.
legs, and sometimes
Yeah.
they'll get in there, like, with their hand,
Yeah.
like, wipe it down a little bit, and it's like...
Yeah,
Going off of that topic, have you both seen Game of Thrones?
of course.
Not all of them.
I have.
Okay, did you at least see the first season?
No.
I did.
Okay. Well, do you know the like hot blonde dragon queen lady?
Daenerys.
I do.
Okay, there's the guy Jason Momoa who plays Drogo. There is a scene in the first season because she is like married off to him in exchange for an army for her brother. And it's like the wedding night, and as custom to like the horse warlord kind of thing, like, you know, he's pretty rough with her, like breaking her in almost,
Yeah,
and they
he's
show
breaking her
that
pretty hard.
Yeah.
But he said while they were filming it, like he basically has to wear like the sock, and then she almost has like a, I guess like a pad shaped thing over like the uglies, let's just say. But I feel like, you know, other than that, they're both completely naked,
Yeah.
and he's supposed to be like doing her doggy
And
style
how
on
do you
camera.
not, like, because she's
that's
so
the other
hot.
thing.
It's
That's
like,
what I'm
how
curious
do you
about
not,
too.
like-
Like, if you're gripping her, like you're actually going to town.
Thanks for,
Oh, I-
thanks for
And
telling
if
I
me.
she's
would
hot,
rise
like,
up, yeah.
yeah, like how do you keep from like accidentally, whoops, just sliding in?
Yeah.
Like, and at that point too, like, would it be better to just film the actual thing, like versus just trying to
Apparently, in some movie
pretend?
scenes they do actually do
Yeah.
that legit thing.
I don't know, but then again, like if you have a whole film crew having to do multiple takes,
Yeah.
like other things like that, would you kind of get stage fright and maybe it wouldn't be
I think
as glamorous as you would think?
Your first few movies, you wouldn't get stage fright, but after a while, I'd be like, "Damn, you got to mentally train yourself to like keep her
Method
down."
acting.
Yeah, because at first you're having 12, 20 people over there like watching. It's
Action.
like, all right,
Yeah.
all right,
Let's
I ain't
get
got
the
to worry about
hips a
that.
little bit more tilted anterior.
Yeah.
I can't go much longer. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's fucked.
I don't know. I feel like that would be, especially too, because, you know, like it is more so a professional thing that I feel like it would be hard, though, to like kind of simulate that and, you know, without kind of,
Getting around.
Yeah.
getting any sort of accidental thing, too. So,
Because I'm sure the girl, the female, is acting out just as well, and like
Yeah,
when
and
it seems real,
yeah.
I'm sure they're making noises, whatever.
And
It's like, oh
especially,
fuck.
Yeah.
a super attractive girl like
Yeah.
that, too, I feel like it would be hard to not just like,
I wouldn't make
or like imagine two of you accidentally came
Oh yeah,
into your little sock.
it. Sock.
we got to take
We,
a lunch.
Yeah.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
Lunch break. Fuck, dude. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Damn. Well,
That's a good way to end the show.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Hope you all enjoyed this one. And of course, follow us all on social media. I'm going to drop it in the description comments below. If you have any questions, make sure you're following us all and wait till Sunday. Usually I drop a questions box on social media so you can drop in any questions, or you can do it in the comments and below. And that's it for today, guys. Until next time, we are out.
See you.
See ya.